Yes, it's on 6 weeks' notice, David, but he's got a great career. Don't look at the aesthetics of his body. He can box, he can punch, and he's going to be very dangerous, in my view, early on in this fight.
Absolutely. You know, as I said today, we're here live at Brookfield Place in Manhattan for the public workout. Gareth, you spent some time a little while ago with Mr. Andy Ruiz Jr. What did you get from him?
A lot of really good stuff, and it's what's kind of lent my view, Mr. Alorca, on what really is a proper contest. Spent the day with him in Los Angeles in his training camp, Legends Gym in LA, and I was impressed with the lightness on his feet for such a big guy. He might eat the McDonald's, he might be known as Billy Bunter, he might be known as the fat slob by former promoter Bob Arum.
Absolutely.
But he can punch, he can move, he's got a very long amateur pedigree, even a history of fighting men as a kid, and even fighting the police. He comes from a very tough place, and he really is a worthy opponent for Anthony Joshua, even at late notice.
Absolutely. On top of that, we have an absolutely stellar card as well, haven't we? We've got some great British names. Mr. Eddie Hearn said he wants to have all Brits and Irish on one side of the card, all American-based fighters on the other side of the card. So we've got some absolute great stellar talent. The chief support, Mr. Callum Smith.
Yeah, we're in Brookfield here, down on the commercial side of Manhattan, down on the southwest side of the Manhattan Island. We're in a big shopping centre. We're drumming up noise.
Yes.
We need to shout, because they are trying, they know who we are.
They know.
They're trying to drown us out.
Listen, they're trying to gas us up. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to do.
That's the word.
You know what I mean? They're trying to gas us up.
They're trying to gas
They
us
know
up.
the louder they go, the louder we go.
We go loud. We go stellar with this card, as you were saying as well.
Absolutely.
There are so many big fights on this card, not least Katie Taylor.
Woo!
Trying to unify the women's world lightweight titles and win the first Ring Magazine belt awarded to women in the 135-pound division. She's fighting Delphine Pearson, who we'll see today, a very decorated boxer from Belgium, undefeated, who has fought mainly in Europe. This is her first sojourn across the pond. She's a formidable champion, but this is a major moment in the career of Katie Taylor. Joshua Buatsy's on the card.
Let him know.
His first big American debut.
Absolutely.
He's managed by Anthony Joshua.
That's right.
Of course. Callum Smith defends the Ring Magazine and world title belts in the super middleweight division. And also, I'm trying to think who else. Tommy Coyle even.
Tommy Coyle's on it.
Great fight. A great
Chris Algieri.
Chris Algieri.
Yes.
Who we remember from fights against Amir Khan and Manny Pacquiao.
Absolutely. On top of that, don't forget Josh Kelly is also on the card as well versus Mr. Ray Robertson. Hold the sugar.
Not a bad name, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Hold the sugar. No diabetes today.
No diabetes, you know what I mean? Type 2. We've got loads of people in attendance here today. Coogan Cassius is in the building. He's going to be joining us. Man. Yes, Mr. IFL, he's going to be joining us shortly. We've got Eddie Hearn in attendance as well, just over there doing some stuff for Boxer Social. Listen, it's a joyous occasion, isn't it? But on top of that, it all kicked off yesterday, didn't it? With you. You was out there yesterday, wasn't you?
I was in a rooftop iconic bar venue where all the fighters did a red carpet, and we had a few canapes, and we might have had a couple of tequila and Cointreau drinks.
I'm sure you did.
Known as destroyers.
All right. Named after Mr. Ruiz.
Are we going to have a little look at that?
Yeah, we are. We are going to have a little look at that. Absolutely. But listen, on top of that, what did you gauge yesterday? Obviously, you saw both fighters there yesterday up at that rooftop.
Yeah,
what did you see?
Both very, very relaxed. Andy Ruiz loving this moment he's been brought to. Anthony Joshua more relaxed than we see him on his UK fights, because he can walk down the street here, go for a stroll with his team and not be mobbed on every street corner. So they were both very relaxed. I'll ask Coogan about that as well. Coogan, we were just saying how last night...
Whipped in the IFL mic, you know, just making sure...
It don't even work.
We were just saying last night at the Mondrian at the rooftop terrace, we don't normally see Anthony Joshua on the Monday of fight week, but it was a very relaxed affair, wasn't it? Andy Ruiz very relaxed as well last night.
Yeah, usually you're right, we don't really kind of see the first glimpse of them until today.
Your call on a Tuesday night.
Your call on a Tuesday night, but yes, it was a bit of a bonus night here in New York. Very low key, and yeah, it was quite chilled out, to be fair.
Apart from the obvious headline on this card. What other fights on this card excite you?
I like the Coyle Algieri fight. I think that's got the markings of being an absolute war with the way they both fight and kind of Tommy's vulnerabilities. It could be kind of really up and down.
And what he's declared, he's going to come for war, but
come and knock
he
him
has
out.
to be slightly careful.
Absolutely, yeah, no. Coyle Algieri, and I think Josh Kelly's got a good test in Ray Robinson as well. Katie Taylor, obviously, her fight with Pearson.
History in the making.
Absolutely, yeah. We're hoping Katie Taylor can pull that off and become undisputed, join the likes of Clarissa Shields, who's already reached them goals, so, yeah.
There's word of Mr. Josh Buatsi headlining a card over in Manchester if he gets out of this one. What's your thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, I mean, he's fighting Periban. A lot of people have kind of given it a little bit of stick. It is what it is. Buatsi's still learning. He will headline a card should he come through this fight on the 6th of July in Manchester. So, listen, it is what it is. This is US debut, so, you know.
You take what you get.
Take what you get. It is what it is. What we're going to keep saying about it. I mean, look, it could have been a better opponent, possibly, but like I said, it's his first fight in the US. Periban's kind of, you know, he's been around the block a few times, so we'll see. But it should be comfortable for Joshua Buatsi.
Enough about the fight itself. How about New York? Like, what do you love about coming to New York for boxing?
The history, really, just the thought of the fights that have taken place at Madison Square Garden over the years, and to kind of have out, you know, Joshua coming here to defend his 3 titles. You know, that in itself kind of is the most exciting thing. That kind of, this is almost like a Matchroom UK show that's come to the US, as opposed to the cards full up with Matchroom fighters, and it's like being at home but in New York. But yeah, one of the best places in the world for boxing, Madison Square Garden.
Absolutely. And what's the vibes like in this place?
Yeah, I've just literally been here 5 minutes, so I haven't really counted the vibes. But Gareth's obviously dressed for the occasion, so.
You know, by the way, we are live on Twitter at the moment, so if you tell your friends, come and join us live on Periscope on Twitter. We've got the big man with us right now. I just want to add to that what David was asking you. We haven't seen Anthony Joshua fight abroad since 2012 when he was in the amateurs in Hungary. So it's a massive occasion. I've been here with the careers of Joe Calzaghe, Ricky Hatton, Nazim Hamed, Lennox Lewis, Ricky, and all these guys. There's more. Amir Khan here in New York. It's a staging position to be successful in America, East Coast as well as West Coast. It's a very, very important moment in the career of Anthony Joshua. It can't afford to go wrong, can it, Coogan?
No, and when you think about it, in the fights he's had and the calibre of fights he's had as well, it's surprising that Hearn didn't really nip him out here beforehand to kind of give him a little bit of experience.
Well, like on the undercard, yeah.
You know, early on in his career, just to kind of, you know, within his first 10 fights, just bring him out here on one of the cards. But Matchroom weren't kind of putting on that US element of their cards back then when Joshua was still kind of learning his trade. So this is his introduction into the US market, normally.
But like everything else with Joshua, he gets an introduction, but he's straight in at the deep end. He boxed as an amateur in Vegas with the British team in a tournament. But the thing is with him, and this is why he's so extraordinary in many ways, listen, we all clout him in some ways because you critique this incredible record because we all want to see him fight Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, and in that moment, he becomes the veritable undisputed guy. But he really does carry things very well. You know, you sat in a private room with him last night. I did with a few of the other writers. I spoke to him for Talk Sport as well on my own. I noticed his wingspan and him moving his arms, just how big he felt compared to Andy Ruiz. Did you get that impression as well?
I can't say I really noticed that, to be honest, but like I said, this is all new for Anthony Joshua. You know, you have to kind of remember that, kind of away from his kind of home territory of fighting in England or in Cardiff, where he's obviously had notable fights there, but this is all different. The whole setup, the camp in Miami leading up to this, obviously all kind of tailored around to fit for this week, but it is climate, time change, all these things are kind of underlooked, shall we say. So it is a big moment for Anthony Joshua. Like I said, he's on that stage, Madison Square Garden, the US audience, everyone's kind of, it's almost like everyone's waiting to see who's going to slip up first
Yes.
from Wilder and Fury and Joshua. We know Wilder absolutely didn't slip up last week against Dominic Brazil. Fury fights next month, which we expect him to come through. But again, this is like, you know, who falls first before they all meet again?
Banana skins all the time. I mean, the thing is, just be honest about this. I mean, like you say, a week ago, by banjoing Dominic Brazil, Deontay Wilder created a million memes, didn't he? He sent messages around the globe again and again and again how dangerous he is. It's kind of more inherent on Anthony Joshua now that he cannot lose, and almost, unless it was a thrilling war for 12 rounds, he's got to make a statement in this fight against Andy Ruiz, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think Anthony Joshua goes out to make a statement in every fight, but more so this time round, especially with it being over here and a lot of eyes on him over here and a lot of pressure on him over here. Like I said, the opponent change wasn't ideal for anyone, but it is what it is. And Andy Ruiz, as you know, Gareth, may not look like your typical six-pack built heavyweight, but he can fight. I keep saying it to everyone, he can fight. He's only lost one fight, which was a contentious decision to Joseph Parker. So
he's also been boxing since he was 6. He's had 110 amateur fights, 105-5 is his record. Hundreds of other amateur fights younger than that, they're not recorded. Fights in the street that aren't recorded. Fights with men and the police at the age of 10, 12, 13, 14. He's got history in the making for him, carrying him in this fight as well. I mean, I went to see him in Los Angeles. I was saying to Cheeky Sport Dave just now, and his vibe is very relaxed, and he only needs one opportunity to get in and inside under Joshua's jab and let go of those left hooks to body and head. He's very, very good at them, and he's very fast with his jab as well, which might be able to keep Joshua at bay. Joshua's traditionally a very slow starter as well, so I genuinely believe, and I don't care what anyone says, things can go wrong in the heavyweight division. 42-1, Buster Douglas, 1990, Tokyo Dome, and Mike Tyson. This guy, for 3 rounds at least, will be dangerous for me.
Yeah, 100%. I know everyone keeps always referring to, when you're talking about kind of shock factors, that Tyson-Douglas fight, but it doesn't happen too often, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. And Andy Ruiz got absolutely nothing to lose by coming here.
No, but he's also, 11 months ago, his last fight with Bob Arum, he earned $30,000 US. Listen, it was a fight with Kevin Johnson, it was a tune-up fight, and he was losing interest, and Bob Arum and Top Rank were losing interest in him. He earned $200,000, and I think, he's earned $200,000 for a fight since. But that goes up to what I believe to be $3 million for him for this fight. Yes, it's a lot of money, but there's so much more at stake for him than just a big payday, because he's been in this a long time. His dad has money in a construction company. There is so much to go. Okay, I'm getting the elbow. I'm going to leave you two.
No. Hey, Coogan. First and foremost, thank you very much. It's been awesome. Well, Gareth's kind of left you now.
All right.
What I was going to say is, for all those watching, for the latest boxing news, for the best in boxing, make sure you're following IFL TV everywhere, across every single social channel possible.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Coogan Cassius also has a verified blue tick as well, so you know what I mean? Give him a follow as well on the old Instagram.
I had noticed.
I'm gonna spin you through some of the odds as well for today.
All right.
You know what I mean? Well, not for today, for Saturday night, so you kind of know what's going on.
All right.
AJ to win the fight is at 1-25. Andy Ruiz to win it is at 33-1.
Okay.
Yeah. For it to go for a draw is at 9-1. Where's the value there? What are you saying? What are you thinking? Talk to me.
Someone want to stick their neck out for Ruiz for the shot?
For the shot, yeah, I mean, it might be worth
it. It ain't going to be a draw, is it? I think we can rule that one out. The draw we can rule out. Are you really getting anything back from backing Joshua in that?
Let's put your house on it.
Unless you're putting your house on it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's what if you fancy it, you know what I mean?
No, but if you fancy an upset, 33-1.
Yeah, it's a bit tasty. It's a bit tasty, isn't it?
I ain't gonna have a round with it, but I've got to back my man. So have you. So
all day, every day, absolutely. How about Katie Taylor versus Delphine? We got 1-16, Katie Taylor, 20-1.
20-1. I mean, look. I suppose a lot of people watching the fight probably won't have seen Delphine Pearson fight a lot, so she's meant to be good, but we know what Katie Taylor is.
And she's well experienced, Delphine.
Very well experienced. So again, I'm not telling people to go and back the opponents, but you know, if you're looking for
some value, you're looking for some cash. Do you know what I mean?
20 to 1 there for Pearson, but again, I'm not going to back against Katie Taylor. 1-16. Okay.
Algeri Tommy Coro 1-4, and then 20 to 1 for Tommy.
I'll tell you what, like, if there's any bet to stick your money on,
it's on that one, isn't it?
It's on that one.
It's on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I wouldn't rule out Tommy Cole out of
any scrap.
Any scrap, but you know, the kind of the fighters Tommy's been in with. You know, I've been at them fights where Tommy was fighting Brizuela and he fought that fight with Katsidas and that. Algeri's going to be a different test. It's going to be a difficult test as well because Algeri's experience has been in with a higher caliber of opponents.
Yep.
But if there's one fight on there that you think, you know what, there's a lump some money on there.
It's a nice 20 to 1. Listen, I'll throw a nice little tens on that. That's where you're going. That's the one. Listen, you heard it here, live and direct from Mr. Coogan Cassius himself. Like I said, make sure you check out IFL TV, the best in boxing interviews, period. Bar none.
Preach.
Listen, even when you're going, I'll be telling them.
Right.
Until Fight Hype come around, I'll tell them I'm joking. I'll play it. No. It's IFL all day, every day. What do you think about that Callum Smith?
Yeah, I mean, look, again, Hassan and Dams, he's like another one. He's been around the block. He's been around, very experienced. And that. Again, a little bit of criticism over this. Let me have a look at that. So, 25 to. I mean, look, I can't see anything but Callum Smith winning this fight, to be honest with you. So. I'm not even going to tell you to put your 25 to 1 on Hassan and Dam in that fight, I'm afraid.
He ain't trying to let you lose your money.
He's a lovely fella, Hassan and Dam. I've got a lot of time for him. He's a nice fella. So.
Absolutely.
But I think Callum Smith's on a different league altogether.
Absolutely. Who do you think he's going to get next after this?
I don't know. There's talk about Billy Joe Saunders and, you know.
You want to see it? Yeah, you like that one? That's the one you want to see?
Yeah, I want to see that fight. Billy Joe Saunders, the newly crowned WBO super middleweight champion. Why not? It's a bit difficult because obviously one promotes with Frank and one's with Eddie, so there's your kind of sticking blocks there. But I want to see that fight. I want to see that. Or if not, I'd like to see him going with Canelo. I really would.
Ooh, that would be saucy. That would be a saucy affair. Well, I think Mr. David Diamante is about to give us an address. So let's leave it to there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's better, yeah. Hi, hello. Scotty, what are you doing then?
Well, we're still in.
What are you doing then?
Well, in a few moments, yeah.
Sorry, I do apologize.
Look at him.
I thought Mr. David Diamante.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Just.
All the action is brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of National Boxing
got a great style, a unique style. You know, one of the things I recall, David, is that some of the best boxers that have come to America that I've followed, the likes of Lennox Lewis, Nazim Hamed, Ricky Hatton, Joe Calzaghe, Amir Khan, all had their own distinctive styles when they fought in America. And in some ways, that's what made them very successful. I'm being knocked over by the ring card girls here as we go. But one of the things that this guy has is a very distinctive Hanslow style, beautiful to watch, always looking for the knockout. And of course, he's with Adam Booth.
The Dark Lord.
The Dark Lord.
The Dark Lord.
Yeah, Adam Vader himself, who of course, you know, oversaw the career of David Hayter, a 2-weight world champion, and also people like George Groves and many others, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what do we know about, in fact, we've got one of the ring card girls coming in herself. Step on in.
Come and bully your way into here. Hello, who are you?
Soraya, I'm with Matchroom Boxing.
Oh, are you the Matchroom Boxing America ring card girl?
Yes,
then?
I am.
Absolutely. What's it been like working for Matchroom?
It's been absolutely wonderful. We get to travel with the whole team. We meet the fighters, we see the training camps, we've gone to the National Museum of Boxing. So it's really cool.
Who's your favourite boxer from the UK then?
Joshua.
You see the way she bust that?
Do you think he's the best looking one on the... He reckons...
I can't say that.
No, wait.
No, I'm saying, look, spin around there. Have a look at this at Josh Kelly, yeah?
Josh Kelly
when he turns around in that, you think he's good looking?
He's a pretty decent looking kid.
You just said he's a pretty boy.
Yeah, pretty boy.
Pretty decent looking.
No, I'm teasing you.
but he's a pretty boy. I mean, clearly. He's quite pretty.
So Anthony Joshua's the best looking one though, yeah?
No, I didn't say that.
You said he's the best fighter, yeah?
Yes, I did. Don't try to set me up.
He had you, he almost had you there.
I know the UK banter. I'm really good with it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah?
All right, throw some back our way.
No. I hit it. You throw it, I hit it.
Okay.
You only bat,
yeah,
you don't throw,
She only returns the serve.
I throw if I need to, but right now I'm kind of chill. I don't want to bring out the fire. You guys aren't ready for it.
I like you already.
Yes.
I like you already. You're amazing. Now just tell me a little bit, what does it mean to be a ring card girl at Madison Square Garden as well? Because it's such an iconic venue. Are you a New Yorker as well?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised New Yorker.
Puerto Rican?
No.
Mexican?
No. There's a whole bunch of areas from Latin America, South America.
You're Latin American?
Listen.
There we go.
I'm trying to guess.
I'm Colombian, Lebanese, and Brazilian.
Oh, wow.
Okay. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, in New York City. We know that. And a lot of great fighters as well that come out of New York, right? But Madison Square Garden is a staple, it's a historical place. I've actually worked there already once before, and the energy is so interesting. The lights, it's just different. And we've gone to different arenas, and it's not the same.
When you see about 10,000 Brits come in that arena, it's
I'm
going to be.
Gonna hear them before I see them come in.
Listen, it's going to be something special. I'm telling you.
Yeah, definitely. Here's the thing. Let's get back away from the serious stuff, and let's get back to the ridiculous stuff. Mark Josh Kelly out of 10. Have a turn around, have a look at mark him out of 10.
Rate him. Spin it. Give a little spin.
Wait, have a look at him.
Like right now, his training session or his looks?
All of it.
Okay,
it's a would you or wouldn't you kind of thing.
No. Don't be cheeky. Be cheeky.
You said you were into banter.
Yes, you're being cheeky on camera. Naughty. So I would say a 10 and a 10. I mean,
whoa!
10 out of 10. 10.
He's a good-looking guy.
We'll let him know. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Just know how to look pretty. That's what I would tell him.
I'm really sorry, Josh Kelly, if you watch this back. I think that's one of the most embarrassing moments we've ever had on the show.
Absolutely.
That was terrible.
No, not at all. It's okay.
We don't mean anything we say, don't worry.
Nah, not at all.
Me neither.
Besides fight night itself, what's your favorite part of fight week?
Oh my God. Oh, the presser.
Woo,
yes.
That's the real banter.
Spicy, isn't it?
Spicy. Yes, I love when they go at it. But when they go at it in good measure, like morally and ethically correct, with a bit of a bite.
Oh, you're off. She's off.
Cheers.
Yeah. Oh, mate. You ain't letting her get away, were you?
No.
You ain't letting her get away at all. Oh, listen.
You know what?
Yeah.
After that, I'm feeling the heat. I'm feeling the heat. Don't.
It's raining on him.
Oh, man. It is raining here, by the way, outside. Oh, there he is. I just got the double fist there from
Mr.
PBK. Mr. PBK, yeah.
Oh, mate. But he's a good-looking fella. I said it, mate.
Yeah.
Look, when you see somebody that's a good, listen. As a guy, you can't be offended. You know what I mean? You gotta be honest.
Yeah,
It's a
no,
pretty good
no.
look, and he's an exceptional talent, isn't he?
No, he is.
Yeah,
he
listen,
is.
let him know a bit about Mr. PBK as a boxer.
Well, no, I was saying about he's got a very distinctive style that involves hanging low. He's into power shots. He's got a very good jab. His hands come up in defence when he's close to his opponent. But other than that, he generally boxes. Let's hear. Adam Booth, right there. Adam Booth.
Dark Lord
I'm just
himself.
talking about Josh Kelly's style. It's so distinctive, isn't it? He's got his own unique style. His hands come up when he's close to an opponent, but he's looking for really unusual angles, and he's got incredible skills, hasn't he?
Josh has got a lot of styles, you just haven't seen them all yet. We're working on many different facets and many different styles, so when he steps to different opponents at world level, he can keep changing and adjusting his game and give them different looks.
Because he won't do what Nazim Hamid did against Marco Antonio Barrero. Naz, of course, incredibly successful here on his US debut against Kevin Kelly all those years ago in a rock'em sock'em fight where I think collectively they were down 7 times, but he finished Kelly in the 4th round. What Josh won't do is, I suppose, do what he did against Barrera, which is be careless when he's up against a guy who has a very tight defence and is a very elite fighter.
Well, we love Naz, but we don't care about that now. It's about Josh's steps, Josh's career.
Let him
Naz's
know.
career was his. Everyone is all these great fighters are independent, and Josh's career is going to be his own independent one that we judge by his own standards.
One of the ring card girls just gave him a 10 out of 10 as well for style and looks. She only gave you a 4 though, I'm afraid. How do you feel about that?
I'm happy. Anything more than a 1 is a win.
And lastly, tell us something about Mr. Josh Kelly that we might not know.
Well, he's an incredible combination of sensitivity, talent, and toughness.
What's the sensitivity then?
He's got these perceptions that just pick up so many different things.
Oh, so you and him get on really well then, because you're the Dark Lord, as we know. You're all about perception, aren't you?
Thank you very much.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Mr.
Have a
Booth.
great week.
Hey, look. Ooh, Josh Buatsi's just stepping into the ring. But we've also got the one and only Mr. Radio Raheem.
Hi, Raheem.
Listen,
How are you?
The famous Mr. Radio Raheem.
Yo!
To this day.
Oh my God. Honestly, it's like the first time I've ever heard that. I'm happy to have you guys over. It's like I'm always coming to your backyard, and here you are in New York
Finally.
on our shores.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are you finding it?
Well, I mean, I love it over here. I've been coming for 20 years, but to come with Joshua on his USA Inception, on his debut in New York, and it's such an iconic venue, even though the opponent's late, a late replacement, Raheem, and you know, people are writing him off, it's still a massive occasion. It certainly feels that to us. Does it feel that to you?
It feels like something is shifting in the boxing world. It's gotten so much smaller even over the past 3 years, which doesn't seem like a long span of time.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first started coming over, maybe 4 years ago or so, jumping the pond was a big deal.
Yeah.
People in America didn't know who these guys I was talking to were. I sat with Joshua and I got a bunch of comments like, who's this bloke? From them, I was received incredibly well. And if I could say this, I think my coverage of the British fighters was received here very well, and maybe had a bit to do with this world getting a little smaller.
No, you built Joshua, there's no doubt about it.
Not Joshua in particular, but boxing over there I think was received here and appreciated a little faster than it may have otherwise
But it's
been.
funny you say that because, you know, like I was saying, I've been coming over here for years. It's so important that British boxers make it in America, because otherwise they're just seen as European champions to the American continent,
But they're
aren't
only
they?
just now admitting that.
Yeah.
I was telling them
It's so
that when
true.
I went over there, and I was just the yank that was talking
You're
rubbish.
so right.
But now everyone's actually coming around and admitting that, yeah, you do have to make it in America.
You do.
This is a proving ground, not because it's some kind of domestic, something kind of amazing just about America, but everyone comes here. It's not like you're just fighting Americans. The best of everyone comes here to prove themselves, so this is the proving ground.
Okay, so Joshua's got to come here. He's doing it. The guy behind us in the ring right now, Joshua Buatsi, who's managed by Anthony Joshua. Light heavyweight, done brilliantly so far. Doesn't have to cut much weight. People say great things about him. He looks incredibly tough so far. Hasn't been up against high-level opponents. Decent opponent here. How do you see him? Can he make it in America?
Yeah, but he's a massive talent, and again, I've had the good fortune of seeing him being built in Britain, because I've been over there so frequently. He's one of the first guys where I saw it and had no idea who he was when I first laid eyes on him. It was like, this guy's got special talent. Josh Kelly, who just went by apparently and double-fisted you. Is yet another phenom. And I'm not just saying this because we're on a Matchroom show, but Eddie Hearn has just such a wealth of talent at his disposal that you can't go a week without seeing yet another up-and-coming star, an established superstar, or somebody challenging
Devin Haney last week,
world
for
title.
example.
Amazing.
I think he was. I think he was very undermatched last week, to be fair. But in my
It's
view,
fair to say
in
that
my
after
view.
the fight.
Yeah,
But no,
It's fair to say that
before
after the fight.
you wouldn't have said that, and it's fair to say that guys who are special make guys who are good look average, and that's what he did last Saturday.
But I am really, really stoked. I'm double fisting for Devin Haney.
This guy. All right, now listen. Seconds Out, Mr. Radio Raheem is the main presenter of Seconds Out.
A sport which
We've got
involves
loads
fists.
and loads and loads of content coming out this week. Tell us what can they expect from Seconds Out this week?
Just yesterday, I interviewed Joshua, and it's been some time. We haven't been able to cross paths as often as we'd like. So it was a lot of fun, man. I gotta say, I think he's got a different attitude. Now it's for the fans to decide, and really for Andy Ruiz to decide on Saturday night whether it's a good or a bad thing. But he's a lot more lighthearted.
Well, you know why? Because he can walk down the street here. He gets so mobbed in the UK, he can actually relax back and be slightly normal in fight week. They were telling me that yesterday, that they're going for walks around New York. If it was London, see, you saw Joshua last night with us as well at this red carpet reception. We never get that access on a Monday in the UK. It's Tuesday at the York Hall, the workouts, or in Cardiff, wherever it is. Right. Whereas here, he can actually...
It's amazing how much they're willing to make him available when they actually need us. So
no, but it's them little digs in there. I like that.
It just shows in this crowded marketplace of entertainment, sports, music, he hasn't resonated yet. He's not a star here.
And he runs the risk of falling in the same category as Lennox Lewis, which is not a dig on Lennox Lewis, but I don't think he was ever a star here in the way that he could have been.
He was after he retired, weirdly.
Well,
weirdly.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count. I don't cover retirement parties, I cover fights. Yeah. And those fights didn't happen when they were meant to happen, and he should have fought Tyson when it was meant to happen, and Tyson should have, it's like these fights have to happen in these guys' prime, and especially for a British fighter, if he's going to capture that American fanfare, you've got to come over here, not just make a statement against guys you're supposed to beat, but beat guys you're not supposed to beat.
This is a William Hill show, it's a Matchroom show. How about this question then?
Go on.
At the moment, and my view is Tyson Fury leads in the stakes with Joshua in America at the moment. Can Joshua be a bigger star than Tyson Fury in America? It's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, nobody leads. When you say Fury leads with Joshua in the States as far as what people want to see?
No, I think in terms of resonance and who he is at the moment, I think he's more well-known.
He's over
and he
here.
fought Wilder.
He fought exactly my point.
You need the storyline, you need the narrative,
but we
don't you?
need all three, and each one of them has fallen short to a degree of making that possible.
Listen, Wilder had a go at you and me at the Los Angeles press conference. He didn't even protect me when Wilder was right in my face giving me bronze bomber.
Hey, I was holding the cam.
No one protected you, and he had a go at you about 10 minutes later as well.
Oh, I didn't need protecting.
No,
Next time I'll protect you, though.
Thank you very much. No, to be honest, you know as well as I do that Deontay was part pantomime. It's his mood, isn't it? He's not going to attack anyone actually physically.
You see that look in his eyes? He's like, I don't know. I'm a voucher for that.
I don't even trust you right now. You're fucking sweating bullets. I'm not sure what you might do next. Throwing high kicks, like, you know what I mean?
No, but the thing is this. Why isn't what has Deontay Wilder not done to be famous in America? What's he not done? Is it the dance partners?
He's not grown up in a country that levels boxing above everything else. He's not grown up in a country where it is really so much a part of the culture that it's one of the absolute top major sports. There's a lot of competition here in America as to what people watch and pay attention to. We've got many, many superstars in many sports. And again, because America's the proving ground, there's so much competition here for people's attention that you've got to be a Mike Tyson. You've got to fight everybody. You've got to have tremendous knockouts. He's doing that, but he needs Joshua as much as Joshua needs him. He needs Fury as much as Fury needs him. Boxing needs guys to fight each other when they're supposed to fight because there's a lot of competition for the
best against the best when they're at their best, and we all would need that.
Listen, the people in the comments have spoken.
No other way.
The people in the comments have spoken, and they want to know, can you do your best? All right, go on then. Hit us. Hit us.
Can I do my best what?
to this day impression?
Absolutely not. My job is to ask the questions, and your job, apparently, everyone has decided, is to scream to this day at me every time I walk up and down the streets. I remember what it was like before, this whole thing happened. I feel like that's how Joshua feels now in America. That was my previous life. Before, to this day, when I could walk down the streets without people screaming at me.
Hey, that's him! To this day!
Even my favorite colleagues can't help it. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna have to tattoo that on my chest. Apparently, this is a part of my life now.
Listen, Radio, thank you so much, man. It's a pleasure as always.
Thank you very much, bro. Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll have to do some predictions for this fight.
We will do, indeed, do some predictions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Radio Raheem with William Hill.
Let him know.
Cheers. Well, in the ring, Joshua Boatsier about to speak to David Diamante. Let's have a listen.
With his trainer, Mark Gillespie.
But he was just saying how good looking you were.
Yeah, listen. Cheeky Sport Dave, Gareth A. Davis back with the one and only Mr. PBK, Pretty Boy Kelly. It's known as Pretty Boy Kelly for a reason. He's a pretty boy. How's it going?
It's going good, mate. It's going good. Mate, I'm itching for Saturday now. Do you know what I mean? It's been a good. Came out here on business class, so that was the first time I did that. And once you turn left, you're not turning right anymore. So I guess I'm turning the left.
The game's changed now.
The game's changed. It's been a game changer. But man, I can't wait to perform. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Now, what's it mean to perform at the Mecca of boxing, a place known as the Mecca of boxing?
Against a guy called Ray Robinson.
Yeah. Hold the sugar.
When it goes on the record, it's going to look good, isn't it? It's going to look good. Nah, I can't wait. Can't wait to enjoy it and just do it. Really, just enjoy it. When I go on edge, when I start producing the flair and all the hands down and whatever, it's not because I'm cocky. It's because I'm enjoying it. It's because it's my style. It's because I'm trying to be as most awkward as I can towards the guy. So I feel as though once that starts coming out, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
You're in your mid-20s, aren't you? I'm just thinking. Do you remember? Were you old enough to? You weren't old enough to remember Nazim Hamed fighting at the Garden.
Yeah, of course. Well, I've watched them all. I've watched some fights.
You've watched them all, yeah.
Kevin Kelly and I mean, did he fight Augie Sanchez? I'm not sure.
No, he fought. He fought Augie Sanchez in Mashantucket, Connecticut, because I was there, I think. So I went to do a Mike Tyson fight the night after. That was in Vegas, and it was like an overnight flight. No. The other fights there you'll have watched, probably Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield, the horrible draw where people say he was robbed. But have you been inside there yet at any point?
No, never. I come over here Christmas time, just for a little trip out with the family. But I know going to a restaurant outside Madison Square Gardens, and I seen it. It just looked unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Do you keep your gloves on all week or not?
All week. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
Let's go.
Hey, listen, I'm coming back for you, Gareth. All right.
Okay.
Hey, listen.
You gotta get it.
Listen, I'm gonna get you back for that. Listen.
Hey, listen, you had to come in and sweet. You wouldn't let him go, would you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Now listen, let him know who we got in the ring.
I don't even know. Hang on.
Tommy Coyle.
Oh, it's Tommy Coyle. I haven't got my glasses on. It's Lennox Lewis in the ring, is it? No.
He's back.
Tommy Coyle, who I spoke to a couple of days ago and last night, who is looking to put on a terrific performance against Chris Algieri,
yes.
who was a high school teacher and a medical student. I think he's a doctor even of medicine from university. or an anaesthetist. He's definitely in the medical profession. I worked my way through that one,
Yeah,
didn't I?
I know. I was going to say, listen, where we going with this?
But Chris, we know best of all, of course, for his 2 fights with Amir Khan and Manny Pacquiao, neither of which he won. But he is a real bull of a man, and Tommy Coyle is promising and pledging for a very, very powerful fight. We got Frank Smith,
yes,
one of the directors of Matchroom
Let him
Sports, joining us. Hi Frank, how are you?
I'm unbelievable, Gareth. How are you?
Very good. It's brilliant to be in New York.
It is, especially with you here. And Cheeky Dave.
Thank you very much.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Well, you welcomed you welcomed us in the best possible fashion last night. We were saying how to have that red carpet reception for the boxers last night. We don't normally see an Anthony Joshua in the Monday of Fight Week, but he was incredibly relaxed because he doesn't get mobbed in the same way here, and he's got a bit more space. And it's been refreshing to see.
Yeah, it's great. I think he really enjoyed it, you know. It was nice. Normally as it gets a bit closer to fight night, it gets a bit more tense with all of the fighters, as you can imagine, because it's quite a stressful experience if you're getting in the ring. So I think to give them that opportunity, come in on Monday, see people like you, they love seeing you. And Cheeky Dave.
Weirdly, what Anthony was also saying was that in this training camp, he's normally battered by the time he gets to fight with, but in a weird way, he's had to relax because of the change of opponents. Think about different things and just go in there and do in a relaxed manner what he's worked with Coach Rob McCracken for 5 weeks.
Yeah, he's in a very happy place. I think he's had the best camp he's ever had, he was saying. You know, he's got a great team around him, and I think going to Miami, being in that sunshine, although Sheffield is wonderful, this time of the year, I think Miami is a bit nicer.
And I've got to say, you look like you've had one of your best camps coming into this one as well. You're looking good.
I'm in good shape. I'm in good shape. Even money to make 15 stone by the end of the year.
Now, Coyle versus Algeria, a lot of people have been saying that it's arguably the most evenly matched fight on this card. What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a war. Every fight Tommy Coyle is always a war, and I can't wait to see that. I'm so happy for him as well because he's such a nice guy. And Chris Algieri, you know, he's been in with some of the best, so I think he's going to come in, give it everything. Another fight I think is very, very close is the Ray Robinson-Josh Kelly fight. You know, Josh Kelly stepping up into the biggest fight probably of his career to date. So that's a very exciting one.
Yeah,
as well.
Ray Robinson's been a very good American side champion, 40-odd fights, very experienced. A lot of pressure on Josh. I know he's a very relaxed character and he's got great skills and he's with a real headmaster, a real leader in Adam Booth. But just going back to Tommy Coyle and Chris Algieri just now, I just hope Tommy, who's behind us of course, just working out on the pads with Jamie Moore there, brilliant coach himself, doesn't go too gung-ho in this fight because it might play into Algieri's hands.
I don't think he can help it.
Yeah,
you know, it's the truth. Yeah. But he's shown in the past that he can go gun-ho and still get the win.
No, he's got great timing. When he's on point, his timing's brilliant and his counter shots are terrific.
Yeah.
See what the ring card girls, you have them on the show and then they just...
Hey Frank, fire him!
They do what they want.
Get him out of it!
They do what they don't work for me.
The great thing is this as well. Tommy Coyle's got a brilliant career in the centre of Hull with his market stall and so on. How good would you be? Would you be good as your boss, Mr. Eddie Hearn, at selling strawberries like he did that day at the market?
I'd like to be honest, if I wasn't working here, I would be on a market stall selling some apples and pears for £3.
Can you give us a little bit of that now? Sell us this fight on Saturday night, Anthony Joshua.
What about apples and pears?
Yeah, because we got an apple against a pear on Saturday. We definitely got a giant. I'd say a giant banana.
Do you know what? You're great value because sometimes I sit here and I think, what is he talking about?
Mate, I'm telling you, and you don't have to do it every week.
No, I'm quite glad.
In terms,
next time they say, "Do you mind doing this?" I'm going to go, no.
But all right.
What do you want me to say?
I want you to sell Anthony Joshua against Andy Ruiz on Saturday.
You could have let me do some lines before I came. You really put the pressure on me. All right, let me just do it now before I run out of time. Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, Saturday night. Mexico goes for their first ever heavyweight champ. AJ's going in their best shape of his career, and I think he's going to lay him out. See you there.
Prediction?
Huh?
5 rounds? 4 rounds?
I think it's going to be an entertaining fight up until when it finishes.
I agree with that.
And I think 6 rounds.
Brilliant.
But to be honest, I'm not a great
predictor, so don't.
No, but you're a great salesman of fights. That's it.
Better with apples and pears.
Hey, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
A pleasure
Cheers.
as always. As
Cheers.
always.
Thank you very much.
Listen, that's the CEO of Matchroom there. CEO of Matchroom Boxing, Mr. Frank Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, always good value. What did you say? Round 6? You go for round 6 there?
He went for about round 6.
Round 6.
Yeah, go on.
All right, I'll tell you. Round 6 is going at 10-1. Saucy.
Listen, I'm seriously, rounds 3 to 5 or 6, I think are a great call for an Anthony Joshua knockout or stoppage.
You think so, yeah?
Yeah. What are the odds?
I'll let you
on
know
that?
what the odds are. I'm trying to work these bad boys out real quick. Anthony Joshua round 3 is at 9-1, round 4 is at 9-1, round 5 is at 8-1. Let's go shorter. Round 6 is at 10-1. So I think the shortest for Anthony Joshua is actually a round 5 in this fight. The bookies are looking at round 5 is going to be. It's going to be it.
My prediction so far has been around 5 to 6. He needs that. It can't go on too long. What you want is 2 or 3 really exciting rounds from Ruiz where he's let his hands go. Listen, I don't even mind if Joshua goes down in this fight and then gets up and knocks him out.
You love that.
What we want are thrills and spills. That's what the heavyweight division is about.
Do you think if Joshua gets knocked down in this fight, it makes the Wilder fight more likely to happen? Because they'd look at it and think, there's a weakness there. Let's take it. The risk is less. Do you know what I mean? You know, kind of like. Let me put it this way. The same way, like when Wilder went over to Ireland and watched Mr. Tyson Fury go 12 rounds. You know, he probably thought, "I'll have this guy easy," and it kind of helps make that fight from that perspective. The risk is less, and the reward is still great. So the longer the fight goes, and indeed, if Joshua gets knocked down, it's something that will make the fight a bit more likely. I'd say on the side of Wilder.
Well, exactly. If you're taking the stance that it's Wilder who's been avoiding Anthony Joshua, yes. If you're taking the stance that it's Anthony Joshua building up later to a fight with Wilder, and I do believe he wants to fight him. These fighters all want to fight each other. They don't really want to avoid each other. They really do want to fight each other. They're built for that. It will entice Wilder even more. Of course it will. Listen, when Wilder poleaxed Dominic Brazil in 130 seconds, poleaxed him. They were all out on their trumpets. They were all up on their horse, on their boxes, on their horses, riding out and all screaming out to the world about what they wanted. We heard from all of them. Anthony Joshua was the last person to speak out on the Monday after the fight, and he made his comments clear. He needs to make a statement one way or the other. He needs to show he's vulnerable. He needs to show, he either needs to show he's vulnerable and he can come back from it.
Yep.
He can't afford to be knocked down by Deontay Wilder, by the way.
You mean by Andrew Ruiz?
No.
By Deontay Wilder, you mean if they fight?
I think if they fight, if Deontay Wilder kabangs Joshua, he puts him away. If it's a Kerrang, wham moment, he puts him away, in my view, yes.
You think he doesn't come back from it?
No, I don't think he does. Deontay Wilder is the most dangerous single puncher in the heavyweight division. There's no
you think of all time? Is it arguable?
It is arguable
to say of all time.
He is arguable, and he is in that list of all time
single punch
knockout merchants in the heavyweight division. Yes.
And plus, look. As I say, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. His numbers are emphatic.
You have to look at the opposition he's faced, David. You have to look at the opposition he's faced, and he has fought a lot of guys who you expect him to go through, but he's so unorthodox. He comes at weird angles. He's very, very dangerous. He's freakishly athletic, and he throws his whole body in shots. He's not a conventional technical boxer. He is looking to put people to sleep.
Now we've been speaking a lot about Joshua, but right about now we've got another Joshua with us right now, the one and only from South London. South London's finest, straight out of South London, straight out of Accra, Ghana, you know what I mean? Straight out of Kumasi, you know what I mean? Straight out of GH. My bro, the one and only Mr. Josh Boatsi. Good to see you too, good to see you. How's life been as a William Hill ambassador?
It's been good so far, man. Getting interviews by people like yourself. It's a brand that we see on the canvas, but to have them backing me, it's all good, man. I'm enjoying it.
Absolutely. Now, listen, we're out here, posted, New York City. I know you don't let the lights, the dazzling lights, the big buildings, the glare and the glamour get to you in it, but what's it like being here getting ready for a fight here?
I'll tell you what, it's different, and it's kind of like a dream coming true because everyone boxes on home soil. So to kind of leave your home, to come here, and to be fighting in a fight as big as this, listen, man, I'm gassed about it. And let me not say gassed, I'm excited about it, man.
It's crazy. Like what? Let's talk about, obviously, we come from a similar background, you know, families that are proud of their kids. How's the family feel about you and where you're going?
Listen, everyone's excited about the journey, but I'll tell you what, I'll let you, do you know what, because I like you two a lot, I'm going to let you know a little secret, yeah? So for me right now, my closest family members are away on holiday, and for me, I'm happy about that. I'm happy to see that they're somewhere else enjoying the time. I'm here working, I'll join them possibly soon, but I'm happy to see that they're away. But everyone is excited, and while they're away, I'm saying, listen, just keep praying for me. That's all I need from you, like, pray for me. Give me a little 5 minutes in prayer, and I'm happy with that. So everyone's happy and they're excited about it.
Absolutely, and obviously I know you never ever look past who you've got standing in front of you, but you also know that there is something happening after this one.
Yard and Kovalev.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about for you.
Oh, for me? I think you're talking about July the 6th.
I am talking about
Okay, yeah. The thing is, I've been given that date, but in terms of who, where, who, what, I don't know nothing about it. Like you said, man, June the 1st is the primary thing. That's what I need to get past. Gareth's looking at me because he thinks I know more than I've said, but I know nothing about it. I promise you.
No, you can't afford to. Look, the guy you're up against, let's talk about him a little bit. Is he in there now?
I wish he was that small, but that's not him.
No, the guy you're up against has competed at world level. Yeah. This is a name that you need on your record. It's a building fight. It's a step-up fight. We've talked to people in America already about how they see you. They've seen you rise in the UK. I think you're very lucky to be in the masterful shadow of Eddie Hearn and even your friend and manager, Anthony Joshua, because you're going to have so many learning fights so that when you headline at Madison Square Garden, and you are going to, I mean, I said to you when you won the Olympic medal, I really think you're going to be a world champion, Josh. Do you remember? I felt there's something about you, and it wasn't from watching you fight, it was from watching you speak. It was from being around you, your presence. It's a massive learning experience on every level for you, isn't it?
It is, and like you said, I've had 10 fights now, won 8, but like I said, they've been at national level and not necessarily people that have got the experience this guy's got and that he's going to bring to the table. So I'm sure you guys are curious to see how the fight's going to go. I'm curious myself to see how it's going to go, to see how I deal with someone that's been at that level before. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua has spoken about how pleasant it is to walk around America and not be recognised. I know that you get recognised now in the UK, you've got a growing presence. Has, in your mind, conquering America, like Joe Calzaghe had to do, like Nazim Hamed, Ricky Hatton, all these guys, Lennox Lewis, I mean, you know, way back, Phil Scott, years ago, the horizontal heavyweight in the 1920s, you won't know who he is. But he was called the horizontal heavyweight because he used to lie on the ground, feigning that people had punched him in the cojones, and he got 7 disqualifications on his career by pretending to do that. But he was known as the horizontal heavyweight. Is there a desire in you to be bigger than Europe, to be bigger than that? Yeah, because you always seem incredibly modest, you know?
For every fighter there is, Gareth. You want the world to see your talent, not just where you're from. And for me, this is a little foot in to that direction. So there is, man. I want the world to see the talent that I've got, the gifts that I've got. I don't believe in just hiding and just showing it to people of England. I want the world to see it.
And we totally believe you definitely will do, without a shadow of a doubt. Josh, thanks a lot. It's always a pleasure.
Can I ask one more question? You know, you called it work. Okay, I can't.
Lad, he's out. Josh, see you in a little bit. Take care, brother. See you soon. Ah, mate.
Boss.
Look at this guy. My man, yeah, you good, yeah? It's all happening. It's all happening. Good, yeah? Just, yeah, real good, thanks. Yeah, that's good, yeah, good. Yeah, just saying a few hellos and goodbyes to Joshua's team. Stepping in right here.
Come in. Hi, Jamie. How are you?
I'm all right.
I'm good, thank you. Listen, we were just talking about Tommy with Frank Smith.
Yeah.
And you know, Tommy came on my radio show on Talk Sport the other night, and I know you spoke to Dominic McGuinness on Talk Sport as well. Tommy sounds a little bit gung-ho about this fight. The opponent, Chris Algieri, was in the ring just now.
Yeah.
We know he's a bullish fighter. Have you got to get Tommy to be sensible in this fight as well? Because he sounds like he just wants to have a toe-to-toe war.
Well, listen, for the last 6.5 years since I've been training Tommy, that has been my life ambition. Is trying to get him to stick to a game plan.
Like he did against Mashadod, and he was brilliant, wasn't he?
He was perfect, and I think I'm hoping, I've got fingers and toes crossed, that he takes the lessons from that and realises that, you know, the mistake he made against Derry Matthews, he did what he did against Mashot early on in the fight, and then decided to go away from the tactics, let his heart rule his head, and then lost the fight because of it. And he's got to take those lessons on board. Now, I think he has to box a little, the way he did against Masha, but I think someone like Chris Algieri, at some point, you've got to meet him halfway and push him onto his heels. You can't let him dictate the pace, you know, apply that pressure. So it's going to be, he's got to toe the line. He's got to be real careful. He's got to mix in his boxing ability with his fighting heart, and he's got to be able to go in and out of that and keep his temper.
I make him a minor. A kind of just the underdog slightly. I don't know what the odds are there, David.
Yeah, I was going to say this is actually dubbed as the most evenly matched fight on the card.
Yeah.
The odds, though, have Chris Algieri at 1-4 and has Tommy Coyle at 20-1 to win the fight. Which I think,
a good bet?
Which I think is a solid.
I've got to be honest. If I was an outsider looking in, looking on the paper, I'd say, listen, Tommy Coyle has not boxed at this level. Chris Algieri has. He's won at this level.
Yep.
You know, at a higher level than Tommy. So as a betting man, you would be betting on Chris Algieri. But I tell you now, Tommy Coyle is in with a betting chance, 100%.
With 20-1 as well. That's
20-1.
Yeah, 20-1. Is that worth a cheeky 20?
That's the draw. 3-1 is Tommy, yeah?
It's got to be the draw.
That's got to be the draw.
20-1 is the draw.
A
Well done for correcting David Alorca there.
Yeah, mate. Well, it's a bit all over the place here.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So
it's got to be.
So 3-1 for Tommy Coyle. You know, they're not massive odds, but I'll tell you what, it's worth a 20 quid, 100%.
What about a draw?
No.
Definitely not a draw.
What you've got to look at is the fact that I believe this fight will be very close going into the last third, and it's going to be about the fitter, the more determined fighter, and Chris Algieri, as good and accomplished fighter he is, he's 34, he's huge at the weight. Now you know as well as me, going into the later stages of a fight, if weight is an issue, that's when it can play a part.
Absolutely.
Here he is, the warrior himself. There we go, here's Tommy Coyle now. We're just saying about the last third of the fight could be very important, Jamie's saying. You know, with Algieri being very big at the weights, you've got an advantage in this one that you've been able to kind of enjoy your weight a little more as well, haven't you?
Yeah, making 140 is certainly a hell of a lot easier than making 135, so I think that does swing in my favour. But listen, Chris Algieri is a nutritionist. He knows his stuff when it comes to diet and nutrition, and I've got every faith in that he's taking the weight serious, done it correctly, and I'm expecting the best Chris Algieri to turn up on Saturday night.
And you're a student of the game. How great is it for you both to be going into Madison Square Garden as trainer and fighter?
Oh, I just said, Jim, I keep laughing. I can't believe it. It's madness, but it's real. It's happening, and I better get used to it. It's going off on Saturday night.
From the market stall in Hull, selling strawberries, to Madison Square Garden squashing Americans.
Oh, listen.
You really couldn't make it up.
No, exactly.
You know, Tommy's a big Rocky fan, and this is like the ultimate Rocky story. And now if he can pull it off on Saturday night, Eddie Hearn can pull him a world title shot out of the bag. What a story that'll be.
And what a great time for British boxing. You've been in and out of America you've been around a long time, you know, and you've seen everything, done everything. You've been in the biggest fights going. It's brilliant this time of Brits are kind of not just coming to America to prove themselves because of the DAZN and Hearn deal, Matchroom, and Warren joining forces with Top Rank and Bob Arum. British fighters are invading America at the moment.
Yeah. This period of time for British boxing is the best I've ever known it, ever. And you've got to think about, these guys are so lucky to have this sort of platform. I never had it, and I only retired 10 years ago. You know, you're talking in the last sort of 8 years, the weight's evolved and come on the way as it's phenomenal. And you've got to take your hat to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll second that, definitely. Whenever I was a young kid and you saw all the big cards, the pay-per-view cards, it was always two Americans going at it. Now you've got an American versus a Brit in big fight.
And if Eddie loses his job over here, yeah, he's always got the job selling strawberries on the market stall because he's bloody good at it.
I'll never forget that.
He'll not be able to sell them like Chris Kyle. Don't worry.
No, hey, I tell you what, I'll give him a run for his money though. Fair play to him.
Is Dad running the market stall on Saturday while you're here, or is he over?
He is, and then my mum's taking over, and he's coming over. My mum don't
absolutely
like too much. Coming over.
But we'll let you get them gloves off. You know what I mean?
Lovely.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, good to see you too. Have a good one, yeah?
Thanks, Jamie. Cheers. Thank you very much. Cheers. Terrific. Two real servants of British boxing there. Terrific people. We really do wish Tommy Coyle well on Saturday night.
Absolutely.
What a victory. What a triumph that would be if he's back in his market stall selling veg in Hull on Monday morning or Tuesday.
Absolutely.
And telling people how he fought and beat Chris Algieri at Madison Square Garden.
Let him know what's going on over there in the ring.
We've got Ndam in there right now, of course, very experienced fighter. Big night for him as well, of course. He is fighting Callum Smith. Ndam stepping up from middleweight to super middleweight to 12 stone on Saturday night against Callum Smith, of course, winner of the World Boxing Super Series, the #1 super middleweight in the world right now, holder of the Ring Magazine belt. Callum, with the physique of a light heavyweight, great levers, very powerful, brilliant jab, trained by Joe Gallagher. We only knew about this fight 12 days ago. That was when it was officially announced. But Callum Smith has been training for this fight for some time. He's a big favourite in this fight. Cheeky Sport Dave will return from chatting up the ring card girls in a minute and join me with the odds. Dave, come back from the ring card girls. Okay, leave those ring card girls alone. But I was just saying how Ndam behind us, just working. Hello again.
Hi.
Hey, last time you ran in front of the camera.
Yeah, I know, I saw
Make
that.
Sure.
I see what you're trying to do there.
In front of the camera?
Or was it one of your colleagues?
I did not. That wasn't me.
Hey,
I'm the only curly-haired girl. Are you confusing me?
Come on,
No.
Gareth.
I'm out of here.
you got to leave those ring cards. You see, we can't get rid of them now. You've got to stop chasing them, yeah?
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah?
sorry. Let me hit you with the odds.
What I was going to say, Ndam stepped up from middleweight,
Yes.
and I make Callum Smith a massive favourite in this fight.
Make
What are
him
the
a
odds?
massive- All right. Let me hit you with the odds. We'll start at the top of the card. Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. Anthony Joshua's favourite as at 1 to 25. That's 1 to 25. As a draw, we've got 33 to 1. And Andy Ruiz winning this is at 9 to 1. Katie Taylor, we got 1 to 16. And then as a draw, we've got 20 to 1 for a draw. And for Delphine Pearson, it's 8 to 1. Chris Algieri versus Tommy Coyle, you're just speaking about, 1 to 4 for Chris Algieri as favourite, 20 to 1 as a draw.
You got that finally.
Yeah, I know. Madness. And then 3 to 1 for Tommy Coyle, which I think is good business.
Listen, it is going to be a war. Algieri and Tommy Coyle both like to really go at it.
Yeah.
Ndam is a very rugged, formidable fighter, holder of the world title at middleweight. But I think he doesn't realise what he's stepping up against in Callum Smith. He's very young, he's very fresh. He is the kind of guy who hasn't really had a defining fight yet. The defining fights for Callum Smith are against Canelo. They're against Billy Joe Saunders. They're against Benavidez. They're against the different guys.
What happens in those kind of fights? What happens?
Listen, Callum Smith has the size to take on Canelo Alvarez.
But size, as we saw with the likes of Rocky Fielding, doesn't always.
No, Rocky
help.
Fielding is on a different level to Callum Smith. I think Smith has proven with his victory over George Groves, winning the World Boxing Super Series, still not quite had that fight that's a war yet. If he fought Canelo Alvarez, it would be a war. But there are brilliant fights out there for him. As I say, Billy Joe Saunders, all the champions at super middleweight, frankly. I think he can unify the belts. I'm not sure he beats Canelo, but what he has advantage is 4-inch reach. And again, he's freakish, 6'3" for a 12-stone fighter. It's basically unheard of. It's unbelievable, and he doesn't have to cut much weight. He's a freakish genetic kind of. His DNA is amazing. He doesn't put it. He said he was off for 4 months recently. Went on holidays, just had a baby with his girlfriend, and he barely put on any weight. I think David Diamante is going to bring someone else into the ring very soon.
Yes.
And here, Delphine Pearson is about the Belgian fighter who is taking on Katie Taylor to unify the women's 135-pound division with a Ring Magazine belt on the line for the first time. I'm talking very fast because I'm very excited. Here she comes, Pearson! Hey, I beat him with that one, didn't I? There you go.
You did. What is that? What is that? A little? Is that you auditioning for the job there? Eddie's not around. He didn't hear that.
Do you really think I need an audition for that job?
Unbelievable. Now listen, tell us a bit about Delphine Pearson. She's 43-1. She's only lost one professional fight, but however, she is indeed very, very well experienced, isn't she?
She's 34 years of age. She's had a 10-year career as a boxer. She is incredibly talented. She's very tall. You'll see that. Look at those angles. Look at us. You can see her through here. She creates very awkward angles. Now remember that the way Katie Taylor fights, direct lines, sways from the waist, tries to look for angles for her uppercuts into the body, is very fast with her hands. But you look through there and you can see Pearson. She has very, very good bobbing movement on her feet. Is a very awkward fighter, and Katie Taylor's going to have to find her in this fight. She's vastly experienced. The big thing going against Delphine Pearson in this fight is she's never fought in America. She's barely fought outside Belgium. So she's always been the home fighter with all the advantages. So I imagine that Taylor, with her vast world, European and Olympic experience, and very much a champion and a pathfinder in the sport for women, and really on her way to being the first $1 million owner of fights and purses, I think should be a massive favourite in this fight.
She is a massive favourite in this fight at 1-16.
Yeah.
The draw is at 20-1, and the win for Delphine Pearson is at 8-1, which I think is pretty fair. Did you check out the Katie documentary?
Oh, it was very, very good. I mean, Katie's wonderful. I've known her for 10 years, 12 years. I first met her in Bray in 2007.
Yeah.
I was doing a documentary for her, and she was truly amazing. A documentary at the time when women's boxing had just come into the Olympics.
Yeah.
Met her and her father, who was training her at the time, and I think she's just incredible in so many different ways. I'll tell you who I'd like to grab.
Who'd you like to grab?
Joe. I want to bring Joe Markowski in here.
Bring Joe in.
Joe Markowski joining us,
Hey
the vice president of DAZN in America, one of the influential figures in bringing Anthony Joshua to DAZN and putting on this event. Yes, a late replacement, Joe. It's great to see you here. It really does feel like a big occasion already, doesn't it?
It does. New York City, heavyweight championship of the world. Why would it not be? AJ knows he needs to be in the United States to become the global superstar that he wants to become. This is the first step towards him doing that. We're billing it really as the second chapter of his career. He's very excited about it. He should be. For Annie Ruiz, obviously we are thankful and appreciative for him stepping up and taking the fight. What a huge opportunity it is for him as well. So I think we've got a great fight in our hands that the New York public are turning out in force here. And they'll be turning out in force alongside the travelling Lions Den on Saturday night MSG as well.
We know that Joshua has resonated in the UK, and he's done this 80,000 in 4 stadiums. He was an Olympic gold medalist in London. You don't get a better leverage platform than that, frankly, jumping from the amateurs into the pros. But what makes you guys, as experts in digital marketing globally with DAZN, you're in 7 countries at the moment, you're trying to change the landscape, become the Netflix of sports with this kind of guerrilla style tactics in the sports markets and digital platforms. What makes you so sure that Joshua can be a great product in this very crowded landscape in America?
I think very rarely you come across an athlete with all the attributes to become a global superstar. If you look at Anthony Joshua, what he's achieved already in his career, how well spoken he is, how smart he is, how much he understands the business side.
Do you think he carries a zeitgeist then?
I think he's got a charisma and a unique skill in his ability to understand the bigger picture, sell that, execute on that whilst maintaining a perfect record in the ring, whilst, let's be honest, looking the way he does, having that sort of charisma and hype around him, we recognise that superstardom potential in Anthony Joshua. We also, and he recognised this, Freddie and his team recognise, to become that global superstar, it's not enough to be filling out Wembley twice a year. You need to come here and do it here. No one in the US in the heavyweight division for a long time has done that. We believe Anthony Joshua, along with another couple of fighters in that division, can execute on that in the United States and use that as a second launch pad to that global superstar.
Right, the big question that everyone watching is going, come on, G-Man, ask him. How big, and you're not his promoter, but in a sense, you're his broadcast partners, Anthony Joshua. How important is it for you guys as a broadcast network to get him in the ring with either Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, either at the end of this year or very early next year?
I've said a few times, it would be a travesty if this generation doesn't the top guys in this generation don't fight each other.
No, when though, I'm saying?
Well, I think devil's very much in the detail. I think everyone's aware of that. We are very, very committed as a broadcaster. We're one player in this game, right? There are a number of other stakeholders around the table. AJ, I think Wilder and Fury have all said on record a number of times, let's cut the BS now, let's get this done. Our door is open to help cut through that BS. We are a creative, commercially nimble organisation who will make...
With a lot of money.
We have some, deep pockets and some very strong backing, but also we're building on a successful business internationally in growing one here. We have a very heavy interest in making that fight. We also, crucially, and I encourage the other stakeholders around the table, we have an open door to those conversations.
So you're happy, what you're saying is, and with this, we're not talking here about what is happening, but what you're prepared to do, what, as we've seen in the past with Mayweather and Pacquiao, with Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis, is to dual broadcast if you have to, yeah?
That is one of the elements
on
of
the
detail.
Table then, yeah?
It's on the table for discussion.
Yeah.
We need to get around the table and make those discussions. I think that will happen very, very soon after Saturday night. Hopefully ends in a spectacular knockout for AJ.
Absolutely, well, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Joe Markowski there. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Joe.
Joe.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, listen, I'm going to say something that's really interesting here, yeah?
Yeah.
Listen, if they end up doing a dual broadcast, I think that's to their advantage. Because really, what you'd have is two offerings. You'd have one offering on one side saying it's going to cost $99 to watch this fight for one night, or you're going to have them saying, well, you can have it for 30 quid.
Well, that's
20 quid.
Well, that's why we have you and we have me.
Yeah.
Because we've got dual broadcast.
There you go.
Dual broadcast.
This is Ebony and Ivory. But listen, there's a lot of love in the room. So I'm gonna spin the love right here and spin him in here.
Oh, Love Island love.
Love
Island love.
Well,
Yes.
I prefer Josh from Matchroom.
Oh, all right. We're dropping the love.
From Matchroom.
Yeah,
God, you're keeping the employers happy, aren't you? God, he's got William Hill on. You got. Where's your Josh from Matchroom?
He's out here wearing, you know what I mean, sporting the JD.
What did you weigh in at?
Right now, I'm probably weighing it super heavy.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You look fantastic.
He's another man weighing it.
Here he is. And it's another super heavy in his purple suit.
Yes.
Here he is.
It's not really bad.
Blazer, how are you?
Yeah,
very good.
Josh from
Very
Matchroom,
good.
and he thought, yeah, I'm going to come in.
Listen, you're going to have a big conversation global here, because we've just had Joe Markowski in from DAZN, having a really good chat about the devil in the detail, because after this fight, I was saying, as these major broadcasters wanting to promote Anthony Joshua, wanting to promote Matchroom USA, the growth of the sport, how imperative is it on all of you, if AJ, and we do think he will, walk away with a victory on Saturday night, that we really all gun together to get these global fights, the biggest fights, so we know that.
We have to put the pressure on, but the fans also have to put the pressure on, because they're the ones that the broadcasters are going to listen to. They're the ones that we see day in, day out on social media. So there's no other fight to make. It's the fight. It's the biggest fight in world boxing. It's one of the biggest heavyweight fights of all time.
I agree.
I just said over there, they're like, oh, are you concerned? Some journo, are you concerned about Joshua in that fight? Yeah, I'm shitting myself. I'm shitting myself about Saturday, to be honest with you.
Hashtag.
Yeah, but you don't
Till this day,
but you
hashtag
don't-
I'm shitting
but
myself.
you don't think that I'm going to be scared and afraid for Joshua in that fight? Of course.
You have got so much rebuilding to do if it does happen.
But it's sport. It's like, you don't.
And this is boxing, anything can happen.
Also, you didn't start the sport thinking about how many tickets you could sell or how many TV deals you could do or pay-per-view buys. You did it as an athlete to try and become the greatest or the undisputed champion. If he beats Wilder, he goes down in history books.
Correct.
But for me as a promoter, even selfishly, I want to be the guy that puts on one of the biggest world heavyweight fights ever. I mean, this week's epic. I mean, I'm absolutely loving it. And I want more. And you imagine this times 100. And that's what that fight.
Well, we were just saying today, and you know, Josh is working for you now. He said he's got his Josh from Matchroom, not Josh from. Oh, don't.
You ain't on the payroll. You ain't on payroll.
Thank you very much, Josh. I'll see you later.
Get out of it. What are you saying is?
I didn't want him to feel like no one else would offer him any work.
I mean, he's coming here. I've noticed since he started working with Matchroom, he's got a fucking Protect scarf.
Excuse me for the Herdman language
on
there.
his wrist.
But listen, it means you're enjoying yourself. We had a great time last night as well. Very unusual, but we were just talking with Jamie Moore and Tommy Coyle, for example. I mean, you know, you and I go back. I mean, you've been around boxing.
I did an interview with an American broadcaster a minute ago. They said, "What can you tell us about Tommy Coyle?" I'm like, "He's from Hull. His dad has a fruit stall."
Sell it,
Hull,
Eddie. Go on, sell it. Come on,
give it the mic. Give it the mic.
Sell us.
All right, I'll tell you. Look, so we've got a situation here. We've got a guy called Chris Algieri, right? Former world champion. He beat Provodnikov at the Barclays Centre. I was there actually. He boxed Amir Khan. He went the distance with Pacquiao. He boxed Errol Spence. He's fighting Tommy Coyle. Yes. Tommy Coyle from Hull.
From Hull.
Right? Who never even thought. I mean, when Tommy Coyle boxed that, I think we boxed him outdoors against Campbell. That was like a life-changing moment.
It was brilliant.
He has bugged me to have a big fight in America for so long. And I can't tell you how chuffed I am for this kid who's a real good lad. And he loves to scrap. I mean, he's well out of his league against Chris Algieri. But I've just got a funny feeling he might even do it. And it's just these... Yeah. And I think that's about right, to be honest with you. But you know, I think that also, this is why I wanted to put on such a big card, because I know how excited the fighters are. Like they are so excited about fighting at Madison Square Garden. When you walk in, to Madison Square Garden, it's full up. I remember we ring walk when Rocky Fielding boxed Canelo. I just walked out, I was like, shit. You know, it's just mega.
It's the way it's banked. But what the great thing, Jamie Moore is a great servant to British boxing. Tommy's been a great servant to British, and a great servant to market stalls in Hull. And that's what I gave you the mic for, to do that. But we were just saying to them, and it occurred to me today, what you've managed to do. Over the last 28 years, I've followed fighters over here to cover them, but it's been one at a time. You're now bringing British fighters over here in droves, en masse. And it's giving them massive opportunities, and the youngsters opportunities over back in the UK to rise up on the cards. And we haven't mentioned her yet. We haven't mentioned her yet. Tell us about Katie Taylor.
She is my favourite fighter.
Why?
Because I've never met a more driven individual. Like, you were at the round table last night.
Amazing.
It was like, someone said to her, "Do you ever want to have kids?" Or like, and then she's like, "I couldn't." Like, it was just not at the moment. Like, I mean, that
so focused.
It would get in the way of my boxing. Like, I just wouldn't even like. I mean, you could have actually asked her, you know, would you be interested in going to the cinema? And she would say, "Oh no, I couldn't do that." You know, like
Thank you, Josh.
She is the most driven individual I've ever met, and such an entertaining fighter. She's transcended women's boxing for time and time. Forget women's boxing, men's boxing. She's just a massive star. And on Saturday, she says the biggest night of her career so far. Well, that shows you how big this night is, because her career has been unbelievable.
The great thing about her is that you know, with her that, as you say, and we all know this who know her, she's interested in boxing and God or religion, and she adheres to both. She sacrificed her life to both. It makes her a very compelling story. But not only that, even now when you look at her, physically she's incredible, but she sells herself every time she fights. And you're making history with her, though. You're making history with her.
The great thing about Katie Taylor is that...
Let's move in a little bit.
The great thing about Katie Taylor is all you have to do is give her the platform. She'll never let you down. She'll never be in a bad fight. No. So when you're selling something, all you got to do is give her the platform. So on this instance, it's Madison Square Garden, you know, and she will never put in a bad performance. She will never be in a boring fight. She's got hand speed like you've never seen before. She is just phenomenal. And on Saturday, she gets a chance to become undisputed champion of the world.
And the Ring magazine belt as well, though. The first time ever for women's lightweight.
Square Garden.
There are levels to this.
That's why. If I was billing this and I wasn't party to your meetings, you should have called this the history card. No?
Don't give up your day job.
The funny thing is, he was expecting a bigger drop than that, innit?
But it doesn't. But it doesn't need to be overstated. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be overstated.
All right, mate.
Because it is a history card.
Still got time or not? No?
No.
No, okay.
No, I think.
What I'll do is at the presser tomorrow, right? You know what I should have called this? The history card. Gareth will be. I said that. I said that.
I won't.
It's a bit late now.
Yeah. What are you calling it?
Nothing. It's just like it's iconic. It's iconic because.
Just call it iconic.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Okay, let me just go and change all the artwork. Yeah. Spend
Get
about
all
100 grand on
reprint,
artwork.
Get it
you
all
know,
done.
yeah.
Listen, what do you love? Obviously, I saw you during the last fight week in Vegas, and it looked like you was having such an amazing.
Well, don't get any stick out here.
What do you love about coming? Yeah, what do you love about coming out here?
Because I'm getting the same encouragement that I got. Whoa, mate, we're filming live here. Excuse me, come back here. Look, come and join us. Come here.
Now you're in. Look what you've done to yourself.
What's your name? What's your name?
What's your name?
My name is Daniel.
You're American, yeah?
No, I'm Dutch.
Okay.
Dutch.
Oh, you're Dutch with Delphine.
I'm actually, that's actually Flanders.
Yes.
But we speak the same language. So filming for Flemish television.
About Pearson.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think? She beat Katie Taylor or not?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Dream on, baby.
Dream on. All right, out of here.
For sure.
Out of here.
Dream on, baby.
Go
on.
Cameras in
Right, and don't walk in front of us again.
Yeah, sorry.
To get him in,
That's sweet. You say about what you love about
I'm getting the same encouragement that I got when I started in the UK, so it's really refreshing and it's nice, and we're just trying to crack it. We're out here. The odds are stacked against us. In the UK, don't want to sound big-headed, but we're the top of the tree, and we run boxing. Basically.
I tell you what. I
but
stepped
out here. We're like everyone wants to stop us, get in our way, and we're not running boxing, but we want to be running boxing.
I don't know if you've seen this yet. I'm right opposite Madison Square Garden. It's a really old hotel, the Wyndham New Yorker. And I walked out this morning, and there's two massive posters of Joshua in Hugo Boss suits. Have you seen them?
And there's an Under Armour one and a Boss one.
It's quite.
Beats one in Times Square.
It's
incredible.
It's great for him, but it must be satisfying for you because he is the linchpin. He's the gold pin of your stable, isn't he?
I mean, look, we got to a stage where we'd taken British boxing to unbelievable levels, and then he came along and just kept it going, took it to new levels that no one ever thought it possible. I mean, you've covered boxing for a long time. Like we still don't even. We're not even really registering what happened at Wembley with 90,000, Povetkin 80,000, Takam 80,000, Parker 80,000.
Because he made it almost normal. He's made it almost normal.
I tell you what you need in America, when having covered the careers of Lennox Lewis and Nazim Hamed, and I went all their fights, Ricky Hatton, Amir Khan, Joe Calzaghe, who only fought here 2 times, but the momentum grows with each fight here, and the fans come with each fight, and there is definitely a momentum to it.
We've got to build our brand and say, because if you look at other pay-per-view fights or big nights, they don't spend any money on the undercards.
Yeah.
Like British fight fans are brutal. They're like, "Well, I'm still not happy about his card." It's like, mate, seriously, right?
You got everyone on it.
I know, but like, look at another card for a big American fight. They just don't spend the money, and this is an opportunity where, we've got a chance to create a memorable evening and iconic moments for British boxing, but also life-changing moments for our fighters by coming on and being part of this bill.
Absolutely.
And I swear, when they do this, they will never ever forget this moment of fighting.
Quick question before Gareth gets in there. I just wanted to know who is the biggest sponsor of Matchroom Boxing?
Sponsor? It's a tough one. I guess it's William Hill, baby. William Hill. What I like about William Hill, a bit like Sky. William Hill jumped on board when we were just starting to take flight, and over the years, they've stuck with us. They've continued to invest, spent a lot of money. Thank you very much, William Hill. But they've also made a cracking move, because William Hill have associated himself with the very, very best. And I'm not talking about Gareth and David. I'm talking about Matchroom. So we appreciate their support. And actually, what you don't see is that support helps us build bigger shows, go to bigger venues, make bigger fights. So thank you very much. If you're going to bet on this fight, there's only one place to do it. William Hill. Gamble responsibly, folks.
Delphine Pearson's about to come in, but just tell us very, very quickly, Andy Ruiz is a live opponent, isn't he?
Mate,
we need
fearless.
to know that.
Yeah, he's fearless.
You were impressed with him last night?
Yeah, because he doesn't give a monkeys.
Exactly.
He's just turning up going, mate, I'm going to win this.
Yeah.
I'm going to let my hands go.
He
I'm going to
will,
take his head off.
exactly.
And he's not going to freeze. He's not going to, so...
I agree.
But watch these first few rounds. It's going to be dangerous.
Eddie will be with us tomorrow, of course. The other things we've got.
Anytime Eddie's on, we move strangely closer and closer to the ring, mate.
I know.
Further away from the camera.
We've got Delphine Pearson putting on a sponsorship cap, I think, doing all the right things. Come on in. Hey, coming in. It's Belgium. Yeah, exactly. How are you? Nice to meet you. Congratulations on the chance to win the first Ring Magazine belt for women at lightweights. That you're fighting for a unification fight, and it's two amazing women boxers at one of the most iconic venues ever for boxing fights.
Yeah, for us it's the winner get it all, the loser get nothing. So it is a very important fight. Undisputed champion, all the world title buys, the ring magazine belt. So I think everybody wants this. If you want to be, how would you say, at the highest level, you want this, and this is the chance we get.
How much do you know about Katie Taylor as a fighter? Or how much have you looked into her in preparation for this fight?
My trainer was already 2 years busy with this fight, and
Wow.
he think I never get the chance before, because they never know, if they at the other fights they meant a lot of names but never my name. So he say you don't gonna get the chance. So now we got lucky, we got our chance, so we have to take it.
It's not about money, but in a way for women's boxing and women's sport in general, in some ways it is about money, because you guys deserve big paydays for being amazing champions. You've gone 43-1 over a 10-year career as a professional fighter. You are clearly an elite athlete and fighter. So is it rewarding for you to find the right dance partner to be able to earn the right kind of money in these fights?
For me, it's not about money.
At all? Not at all?
Yeah, whole my life I'm working, so now I'm a police officer, so that's the first thing of my life is also my job, because you have to work along.
Yeah.
And after we stop with boxing, you cannot say I'm in with the money, so the money I know deserve. We had already a project in Belgium, boxing is not so popular, and I and my trainer want to build a new, a bigger gym, because the club that I and my trainer have, it's for the moment not possible, it's
But
bigger and bigger.
that's your future, isn't it? That's your future.
No,
when
we
you
are
stop.
now already with this building. We have already buy the ground.
Yeah, lovely.
But we want to have a bigger gym, and the money for us is to invest in the gym. After the fight, we go back to the work. That's it's women boxing. But this time it's good, and we can invest it. It's something we like and our passion, so that's good.
For those that haven't seen you fight, what can they expect for you on Saturday night? What can they expect to see from you? What kind of style can they expect to see from you?
I think my style is like a pro fighter style. I like it to make a fight. I like it to make it hard, and I think Saturday it's gonna be like this. I hope it's gonna be a good fight, a good woman boxing fight, and may the best boxer win the fight.
One of the things that I've spoken to Katie about already, I mean, I covered her entire amateur career as well, and is that you're long as a fighter, your range, you create awkward angles, you punch from awkward angles. She knows that you make different shapes to a lot of women when you fight. And she's quite a straightforward fighter who moves in the waist and looks for angles. Do you think it's a fight that the styles make for a war, or are you going to surprise us with your tactics?
I think the tactical boxer is Katie Taylor more. I think I'm more, the worker one, and maybe also the hardest one, because the way I have to get here on the top was not the easiest way. I always organize my work title fights myself with my team. So to the last day before the fight, we always looking for sponsoring and everything. Now here I just have to do the fight. So for us it's a pleasure to fight here. It's a very other thing. We just want, hopes it is a very good fight for women's boxing, and that's an important thing. I agree.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, we're moving to the main fight on the card, Joshua Ruiz. How do you see that fight going? And what's your thoughts on that fight in general?
You can name on the undercard of the World Championship of the heavyweights. Yeah, everybody knows heavyweights. Everybody, also the people that don't know boxing, if you say the name Anthony Joshua, also in Belgium, yes, this name I know. If you say other names of boxing, a lot of people in Belgium don't know, but Anthony Joshua, the names know this. It's a very exciting thing for me to fight on the undercard.
Why did you never go, obviously you turned pro in 2009, I think it was, 2010. Why didn't you come and fight at the London Olympics as well?
You know Belgium, Belgium is not a boxing country.
You don't get funded very well to do that.
Yeah, but there was no national team. And if I want to go to the European champion of the world champion, I have to pay it myself. If you're 22 and you just study off of school, you have to pay everything yourself. It's not possible. So with my trainer, I did 1 year amateur fighting. I have 12 fights won. And then it was not possible for us to pay anymore. I want to the French champion, the Holland champion. But if you have to pay big amateur boxers to fight for an amateur fight. It was not possible anymore. So we changed to the pro fighting, and he say for us we have to choose, and pro fighting was possible in Belgium. So we changed, and after that, the Olympic Games, women's boxing and Olympic Games, then yeah, I missed my chance.
She's the favourite in the fight. How do you feel about that? On the odds with William Hill, she's the favourite. How do you feel?
It's how do you say it? The underdog has not be bad. If you are the underdog, maybe it's better self. The favorite also machine or more, how do you say, pressures on the shoulder. Yeah, for her it's a job also. She have to win. I hope I win. It's a big difference also. But I certainly also want to win.
You say it's not about money, but if you win, you can hold them to ransom for a very big purse for the return match.
The next fight is already, if I win, how do you say it, how much the fight the next is already on the contract.
and will you be demanding?
We have to sign it like this, otherwise there was no match.
It's not going to happen.
Really, they made you sign a rematch clause.
Yeah, I have the, how do you say it, the chance to box on the matchroom card. So for me, it's how do you say it, it's good enough I have this chance. But if we say, if I win, I have to do the rematch. If I lost, I can go back at home.
Katie sat down with us yesterday at a function. She said a really nice thing, which was that when she fought Rose Volante, Rose said the Brazilian girl, Rose made enough money out of that fight that she bought her mother a home in Brazil, and she told Katie this and feel quite emotional about it. It's a beautiful thing. And Rose came to her in the dressing room, or she went to Rose's dressing room, and Rose said, "I've bought my mum a house from the money from this fight." And Katie said, "It made me feel so good. We're fighting each other, but we're progressing each other's lives in some way as well." And if she'd heard about your gym, she'd be very happy, I think.
But yeah, how you say it, in boxing in Belgium is very difficult. And now we some with 40 men, some and 100 vierkante meter for training. So we get, it's how do you say it? The boxing is now some more popular in Belgium also. If we can do something with it, I got my job, my trainer got his job, and maybe we can, after my career, we can build good boxers to come back with matchroom.
I'm fascinated about you as a policewoman. Come in a little bit nearer. What do you do? Do you carry a gun? Are you fighting?
I thought he was putting a crossbow there.
What it's a crossbow, yeah. What do you do? What do you do?
I work with how do you say, the police. It's the federal police, and the job I know, most of the time I do, I'm how do you say it, responsible for the training of the police. Before I was police, I studied sport teacher.
So you do their physical fitness?
No, not physical fitness, but how do you say it?
How to fight?
The training with the pistol there, with the gun.
With pistol. Oh,
training
really?
with the gun, okay. And training without gun also, with some boxing,
hand-to-hand combat.
some judo, some.
Do you do jiu-jitsu and everything?
Before I did also judo, so now it's good for me.
Wow.
But I also go on street and help, and how do you say it? We do a lot of big festivals. Okay. We are a team where the local police have problems of give them big evenement. They ask us to recover or to help them. With football matches, tennis, how do you say it, cycling. The special things where there are a lot of people, then we go also. But the priority for me is with the training.
Absolutely. Well, Pearson, thank you so
much.
I
don't want to go yet. Is this easily the biggest fight of your career?
Easily, how do you mean?
Is this very much the very biggest fight of your career?
Not easy, not an easy fight. It means
not easy. Is it the biggest fight of your career?
It's clearly the biggest fight of my career. In Belgium, you got maybe 3,000 people that come looking to the fight. Here, it's 20,000 people that can come to the fight. And for me, it's also, how do you say, there is one thing I not got on my palmarès. I got not the chance to go to the Olympic Games. And now I can compete with the Olympic champion.
Exactly.
And hopefully beat the Olympic champion. So that's for me the only thing I miss on my palmarès. And if I can do this, that's the thing I want to like.
We're so pleased you're here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on getting such a big fight. Thank you very much indeed.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Delphina.
Absolutely.
Wow, what a great lady.
What an absolute. Oh, Mr. Tinder.
Okay.
Mr. Tinder in the building. Mr. Tinder in the building.
Mr. Tinder, the matchmaker himself.
What's not the done thing over here?
I don't know if it's Tinder or Bumble. I don't know if they use a bit of Bumble over here. What else do they use? What else they got? Match.com, Matchroom.
Oh, I see you did there.
You see that? Now, obviously, this is.
I'm
this
very
is,
well, thank you. Yeah,
this
just
is-
ignore him.
This
Yeah?
is,
Right, let him
get out of
He's
it.
been chasing the ring card around
yeah,
all
of course,
day.
that's exactly where I'm going right now, mate.
Yeah, go and see the ring card, girls.
I'm
We'll
going,
come
I'm
back in a
off.
minute. Go and see the ring. Right, let's talk some proper boxing. There's him talking about Tinder and Winder or whatever it is. What's Bumble?
No idea.
Winder. Well, I do Winder because all I do is look through the window. I sit there looking through the window. I never do Tinder. It doesn't work for me. I just sit there looking through the window. Anyway, so so matchmaking, really good cards.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some heavy underdogs, but it could go so wrong for some of the favourites in this event, couldn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Tommy Coyle and Algieri, for
I mean,
example.
Coyle Algieri, you'd probably make Algieri the favourite with his CV and in terms of the types of people that he's boxed, but Tommy has got a brilliant overhand right, and he can punch. And we've seen.
And he's so up for it.
He is so up for it as well, and Tommy's up for every fight, so that would be very exciting, that fight. I think Hassan and Dam, I mean, people maybe read a bit too much into the size difference. Had a brilliant win over Martin Murray as well.
He
So
did.
he's someone that Callum won't take lightly.
He looks in great shape,
Yeah,
Did you see him? He looks in great
does look
shape.
great
Got to
shape.
say that,
And
yeah.
personally, the Pursoon Katie Taylor fight is fantastic. I mean, she's incredibly tough, hits very hard. Katie is so focused and driven, and I've never really seen her in a zone like this. So it means a lot to her.
A lot of people will be asking about the matchmaking with obviously Eddie and Anthony Joshua's team were involved very much in choosing that opponent. But did you have your say in that matchmaking with Ruiz as well?
To be honest, no. I mean, Eddie spoke to me about some names, and he said, "What do you think of Ruiz?" And I
Talk
said,
us through it. The names. Who were they
The names.
talking
I think Ruiz. I mean, it was well documented. We put an offer into Luis Ortiz. Obviously, for whatever reason, that didn't
Manuel
happen.
Char.
Yeah. So there was a lot of names out there. I mean, Miller was obviously the one that AJ and us wanted, but I think Ruiz. I mean, he's someone that aesthetically maybe he doesn't look the best, but if you know boxing, you know he's got fantastic hand speed. He's dangerous. He's got absolutely nothing to lose.
And he's very light on his feet. I've been into training camp with him, and he does move so well for a big guy. And he's, I mean, God, I mean, when you look at his amateur pedigree as well, it's really good.
Yeah, it is really good. Yeah, it's exciting. And like you say, you've seen him there, and yeah, I think people early, he'll be very live and dangerous. I mean, you and I had a good chat last night
We
about
did.
it.
3 rounds, very dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous. I think
4 to 5, maybe that's when Anthony becomes a bit more dangerous.
And I think
then after that, you know.
Yeah, no, it'd be interesting. I think with Anthony as well, he kind of acknowledged himself. His shots are very thudding. So I think early he's got to let Ruiz feel the jab, feel the shots and the power, and maybe he might try and run and just try and nick rounds early, but he will have to fight at some point, and I think that's where you'd feel Anthony would just take over with his power.
Yeah, and one of the things that Dave was pointing out just now with the odds was that I think the shortest odds on the fight in terms of a stoppage, Kugan Cassius is playing the hero comedian over here at the moment. If you want to come in, come in. Come on, if you want to shout, shout. Don't stand around. This is everybody's show. This is the people's show. We're here in Manhattan, of course. I'll just remind you, we're here with matchmaker supremo himself. Kugan's back. We're just saying the shortest odds with William Hill are a 5th round stoppage, 5th or 6th round stoppage for Anthony Joshua. Do you go along with that, gentlemen?
I think that's a good assessment. Just pretty much touches upon what we said. I think he'll feed him out early, break him down, and I think a mid to round stoppage is a good bet.
Do you see anything different, Kugan?
No, I see a mid stoppage from Joshua, possibly as long as it took him to beat Dylan White and Dominic Brazil, max 7 rounds. Yeah.
And do you agree with Paul and I that we see Andy Ruiz as genuinely a live opponent and dangerous for at least 3 rounds?
He's definitely going to be live for 3 rounds. What happens past that is kind of very unpredictable. But if Joshua starts slow, which he has done in the past, then this could be interesting for those first few rounds.
I dare say robotic in those first 3 rounds, to quote Mr. Ruiz.
I think that's a bit harsh, but I think his style is, he likes to feel people out, and I think, once he finds his range, you'd feel that he'll just take over and stop him.
But I thought the thing is with Anthony, we saw it in the Povetkin fight. He knows what Povetkin's going to do, but it's making his body do the shapes. That's what we mean by a slow starter, isn't it? He knows what Povetkin's doing, and it's almost like he's had the adrenaline from the walk-in, but then he almost needs to be hit first for the adrenaline to really kick in, his fast twitch to go. Do you know what I mean? We've seen that a few times.
I think he likes to work out the timing as well, just to see what's their reactions like. And then once he's kind of worked that out, then he can let his own shots go.
Well, he is physically, I mean, you're a very big man. Physically, he's so he can afford to do that early on and create that.
Us fighters can afford to do that sometimes, you know. Just saying, when we're built like we are, you know, we can.
When are you fighting next?
If I found the right opponent...
Is that what Coogan's getting on?
What are you weighing in at the moment, Cougs?
Heavyweight?
235?
No, I'm 16.9 at the minute.
About 235.
Battle of Essex is the fight people want.
What?
You versus Eddie Hearn would be good. You versus Eddie Hearn. And then the winner fights
fight.
Dean White.
The winner fights Dean White.
Eddie Hearn versus
Does anyone want to fight Dean?
Eddie Hearn versus
I didn't
Coogan
agree to this.
Cassius
Hold on.
at 16.5 stone. The winner fights Dean White.
I've got some paperwork here, Gareth. He's signed to Dean White.
No, not Dean White. Not Dean White. Eddie Hearn.
No one wants to fight Dean White. And Dean, if you're watching, we'll try and find you an opponent one day.
James, thank you very much. Yeah, I came to save you.
Cheers. Thank you again. Cheers, Paul. Thank you.
Oh, mate.
So,
Gary, what are you doing then? Do a bit of matchmaking yourself?
of course, yeah, as I said, but I don't do Tinder, I do Winder, which means I sit at the window with nothing happening, yeah?
Listen, what a day. Listen, let them know where we are.
Even Mr. Tony Kenny liked that
For
joke.
those that are just joining us right now, let them know where we are and what we're doing. Let them know.
We are here at Brookfield Sports Centre.
Sports Centre?
Brookfield Shopping Centre, sorry, in southwest Manhattan, lower side, southwest Manhattan in the commercial district, very near where the Trade Centre used to be, of course, the Twin Towers, all that time ago. Rest in peace, all those people in that terrible event all those years ago, of course. And we got another DAZN person here.
With sponsoring sporting a nice AirPods.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. You're multitasking.
Yeah, I'm always multitasking.
See what I'm saying?
That's what it takes to work at DAZN.
You know what I'm saying?
Another leading executive from DAZN joins us. It's a massive week, isn't it?
It is a huge week for everybody at DAZN. We're very excited to have Anthony Joshua travelling all the way over to the US. And we've got a lot of interest from, you can just see this. The excitement is building, and it's very exciting.
It's incredible. A quick question that a lot of people are asking. I know obviously this is done by Sky Sports. When are you coming to the UK?
When
are you coming to
DAZN? With the DAZN fight.
Watch this space. Always watch this space.
There've been about, I'm kind of counting roughly, probably about 8 or 9 DAZN Matchroom cards so far, something like that.
Something like that.
Does this feel the very biggest of them so far in a huge way?
Yeah, and I think it feels huge for 2 reasons. One, it's at one of the best boxing venues of the world, and 2, it's heavyweight champion of the world Anthony Joshua, who's travelled a long way to be here. So there's a lot of hype around this fight, and it's big for those 2 reasons.
You have done some great things. I saw the special with Meek Mill, Rock Nation special. How was that?
It's helped build the hype of this fight. Episode 2 is coming out this week, and I think that having those kind of names involved, that level of excitement just brings another dimension to the build of this.
It's
one.
brilliant to have someone like you here. It's obviously, you were related to the Marquis of Queensberry, aren't you?
Is that
I don't want to talk about my personal life. No, I
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
See you later.
Is that phone call selective? Is it still live, or you let it go?
Yeah, I was recording myself.
Legendary. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh. Well, everybody's passing by. It's, as I say, the leading DAZN executives joining us today, because it is a massive occasion for them.
Absolutely.
And of course, DAZN has a very much British feel, owned by Sir Len Blavatnik, one of the richest men in Britain, who is is underwriting the growth of boxing, such a brilliant sports entertainment medium. And it's brilliant. Having worked in fight sports for nearly 30 years, David, it's brilliant that the excitement value it brings in this digital age is being properly recognised. Why are we moving towards the ring?
Mate, that's
all
what
the
I'm
time?
saying. I don't know why we're moving closer and closer to you, mate. It's you. You're taking a 1-2 step back. I'm trying to let them see me.
I'm going to go and talk to the ring card. Go and talk to the ring card
no, you
girls
ain't. You ain't going nowhere, mate.
for a couple of minutes.
They're all mine, mate. You ain't
All
going
right,
nowhere.
all right.
Hey, listen.
Hey, you're warm.
Yeah, I am.
Your armpits are like a radiator right
Look
now.
at this guy. Look, he's trying to get me in it. Your face is like a radiator, mate.
It really is.
A bleeding one. A bleeding radiator.
It's warm in here, isn't it?
It is pretty toasty, and it's pretty toasty.
It's a hot event. Now, you asked me to tell you where we
are and what we're doing here.
We're in southwest Manhattan. We're down on the lower side. We're in the commercial district. We are in Brookfield Shopping Centre. Beautiful new complex here. Beautiful. Can you go upwards a little bit and just show an amazing vaulted canopy? We're in a giant orangery here, and we were going to be outside today, but the muggy New York weather has created some rain.
Yep.
Doused proceedings outside.
Quenched it.
In came the circus. The tent was put here. David Diamante raised onto a platform to make his large announcements. We've had most of the card through already. It's a major event at Madison Square Garden on Saturday night, with Anthony Joshua defending 3 of the 4 major world title belts against a late opponent in Andy Ruiz Jr., who has fought for a world title in the past against Joseph Parker, lost on points in a close fight.
His only defeat?
It's only defeat in 33 fights, 20 knockouts from his 32 victories. It's a really big occasion because Anthony Joshua, we know, has resonated. We know there are doubts about, can he beat Deontay Wilder? Can he beat Tyson Fury? We've got to find out in the next year and a half. But he's still not put a foot wrong since winning the Olympic gold and claiming those 3 belts.
Now, a lot of casuals out there are looking at this fight and they're saying it's an easier fight, it's a weaker opponent, just because they're looking at the aesthetics of the opponent. However, a lot of boxing experts are looking at Ruiz as a much tougher proposition than big baby Jarrell Miller. Now, I will put you in the category of the boxing experts. What is your thoughts on that, Gareth?
Well, I think Jarrell Miller was a very good opponent as well. I mean,
you liked him? You liked him?
I did. I mean, I've known him a long time. I mean, it's a travesty that he decided to take 3 banned substances in 3 separate random drugs tests for a fight where he was earning 10 times what he's ever earned before, over $5 million US. And yeah, it is. It's genuinely a travesty because this was a life-changing moment in his life, chance to create a legacy. I mean, God knows what he was thinking. But I do think that Andy Ruiz, in some ways, certainly, I think we might have seen Jarrell Miller as a more durable opponent and someone for Joshua maybe to batter around a bit more, rather similar to Dominic Breazeale, who Joshua took 7 rounds to put away. Yeah. It's a long time ago now, that. And Joshua's more formidable now than he was 2 years ago. But I think the thing with Ruiz, I think it's going to be a shorter but more thrilling fight. And I hope we're not going to be disappointed in that way. I hope Ruiz does come forward. He's earning his biggest payday by quite a lot. So, you know, he's got Mexican boxing history to create. He feels like it's his destiny in some ways. So this is not a bad replacement. Luis Ortiz would have been good, but he would have been tricky. The Cuban. Southpaw. We saw what he did against Deontay Wilder. I was there across the river, the Hudson River here in Brooklyn, beginning of last year. Yeah. He was very awkward. He was very difficult.
He stunned him. He stunned him.
He was out boxing Deontay Wilder until he hit him with an amazing uppercut that even shocked himself with when he watched it on the replay. And I think, you know, Ruiz, forget the aesthetics. Anthony Joshua said that in a piece I've done in the Telegraph today. Forget the aesthetics.
He said it in a piece with me as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He said he hasn't got a chest like mine and legs like him. It's probably why people are not looking at him.
Well, with me, he used a bespoke word. He didn't use chest and legs. He used aesthetics.
You nearly done it yourself. Eddie
Hearn said.
I've got an interview here.
Oh, sorry.
He's on the move.
With proper journalists.
Wait, who's that? Is that him or me?
This gentleman.
Hey Daniel, how are you? So the headline event on Saturday. What are you people shouting?
The fight you was organising, mate.
Oh, Eddie Hearn. Eddie.
He's gone. Hey, listen. Enough of this and enough of that. We're going to cut to the ring. Mr. David Diamante's having a few words over there.
Action taking
it's all about to pop off.
The world's most famous arena, the Mecca of sports and entertainment, and the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing USA, and this bout will be in association with AJ Boxing and TGB Promotions. We're sponsored by William Hill, StubHub, Tecate, the official beer of boxing, Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle, and JD Sports. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all the action will be broadcast live around the world on Sky Sports and DAZN. And ladies and gentlemen, right now we've got the challenger in the ring for the main event for Saturday night. Please welcome, he's fighting 12 rounds for the WBA, IBF, and WBO and IBO championships of the world. Please welcome from Imperial, California, the former WBO Intercontinental and NABF heavyweight champion, Andy the Destroyer Ruiz. Ruiz.
I'm gonna text you right now. I can't really hear you that well.
Paid him $20 to say that here. Yeah. There you go. There's your money. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Very good, thank you.
New York City.
Yes.
Now you're in my backyard.
Now I'm in your backyard. Now we're in your end.
Yeah,
the cigar bar is just over the Hudson there,
you
isn't
can
it?
see it. You see
Your
that? It's
cigar
not a
bar.
smokestack. That's actually Big Tony. He's sitting outside. That's right. He's got a Churchill. He's
really
like, yo,
literally-
take it easy. Yo, take it easy. That's it.
Hey, listen, what's it like being back here in the US, New York City, Madison Square Garden, for an amazing fight card?
Well, I mean, it's great to be back home, but I mean, I got in this morning, to be honest, so I'm not used to it yet.
This is almost not like it's like it's not home anymore for you. Is it?
It's not even home anymore. Yeah, exactly. The cabin of a plane is more. No, I tell you what, man, I am made up to be here back in New York City, and MSG, man, it's the best. I mean, it's the best. It's always the best. And you'll see Saturday night.
Absolutely. Now we've got loads of action, loads of content stuff coming out this week.
Yeah.
What excites you the most during fight week, besides obviously the fight night itself?
Well, I love the whole thing. I mean, I'm excited for some of the Americans to see guys like PBK and to see Tommy Coyle and to see Buatsi and Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor's been here before, but a lot of these other guys, Callum Smith, like he's huge, man.
Massive.
Callum Smith, that could be a main event. Callum Smith alone, he hasn't fought since Saudi, so we want to see the guy, back in action, and it's great that hopefully the American fans will appreciate those guys. So I mean, the whole fight week surrounding it is just really exciting. There's so much to do, so it's exciting.
Absolutely, and I'm super looking forward to your opening address on both nights. You know what I mean? On both the undercard press conference and the press conference as well. Have you been versing yourself for those two?
No, I haven't. I have
They're
not
incredible.
at all, man.
They're absolutely incredible.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, well, I'll come up with something good to say. There's always something good to say about these guys. The main thing is that we got some great fights. Eddie's put together another great card, so it should be a ton of fun.
Now, in the ring right now, we've got Andy Ruiz. What do you know about him? What do you like about him?
Oh, Andy Ruiz is great. Hold on, give me a half second because I'm being grabbed by production. Okay, great. So Andy Ruiz is a really tough guy. He's only got one loss, and if you watch that fight, man, I mean, he fought Parker down in New Zealand. Parker's a Kiwi. A lot of people think that Ruiz won that fight, so he really could be the heavyweight champion of the world, undefeated right now. Also, he is surprisingly look how fast he is, dude, and he hits this guy can fight, man. I mean, look, there's levels to it. If I had to make a guess, I'm not going to go with him, okay? But that's not to say that I would count this guy out. He's dangerous. It's just that Joshua, I think, is on a different level. But I really like this guy. He's a really good fighter. He's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. They say styles make fights. What kind of fight can we expect on the night?
Oh, this is gonna. I don't know how long it's gonna go, man. There's gonna be some fireworks. I'll tell you that. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of moving around. I think there's gonna be a lot of punching.
Absolutely. Well, David, listen, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys. See you in a few.
David the Diamond. Thank you, brother. Cheers.
Listen, where's your mic?
Right there.
Oh,
Why?
cheers.
Where's the Diamond himself? Callum Smith. Here he
yes.
is. The
The
Diamond,
main man.
#1 12-stone fighter in the world. Ring Magazine belt. Hey, we looked at Ndam just now. He looks in terrific shape, by the way.
Yeah, he always is. He's always training. He's always, and I believe he thought he was going to get the Golovkin fight just after, so he's in good shape.
And Joe Gallagher's here as well, of course.
I'm expecting the best version of him. It's a big opportunity for him, but I just believe the best version of me beats the best version of him.
What have you been up to all this, in all this time off?
I've become a dad to be in, changing nappies and getting stuck in, but then it's good to get back into boxing, get back in the gym, get a routine again. And I wanted to defend my titles, and I'm doing that at Madison Square Garden, so it's definitely a box ticked.
Absolutely. And how soon after this are you looking to get back out?
Yeah, I want to get straight back out. Like I say, I've had a long rest, so I don't need another one after this fight. I want to stay active, and I've always feel my best performances have come when I've been active.
But surely, I was saying this night as well, Joe, and saying this genuinely to Callum, not that we want him in wars, but he's come so far without being in wars so far, but it just feels like we really want to see him in a Canelo fight, a Billy Joe Saunders fight, unifying the divisions, going up for a big light heavyweight fight, similar to the end of Joe Calzaghe's career in some ways, that you have those major nights 3 or 4 times, that you're happy then that there's nothing more to achieve. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. I feel he's climbed the mountain, he's done the top of Everest, he's the #1 in the super middleweight division. We really wanted the unification fight with Gilberto Ramirez, really disappointed he moved up. Everyone's seen him and Callum as the 1 and 2 in the divisions. The Benavides, the Callum Plant fights, they're hard to make through TV and promotional difficulties. But like you say, Canelo called Callum Smith out as a potential opponent a couple of weeks ago, and we'd love that fight. They're the fights we're interested in. And yeah, we've just got to take care of business Saturday night and put ourselves in the shop window for that fight.
What I really, really love as an analyst and a writer and a lover of you guys and fight sports is you against Canelo is so hard to call. That's what I love about it. Stylistically, it is one of those fights that will be debated so much, and I'd love to see it in Vegas or Madison Square Garden.
You'd love to see it in Anfield.
Yeah, I'd love to see it at Anfield, at Vegas, either way. I just love that fight. He's a special fighter, but like I say, stylistically, I do believe it's an interesting one.
Unbelievable stylistically.
Yeah, it's a good fight, and as long as I win this weekend and keep winning, then I'm getting closer and closer to it.
Yeah, but Sunday morning we want people to think, hang on a minute, I think Callum Smith could beat Canelo. That's what I'll hear Sunday morning.
Well, no, he can beat Canelo.
But people who say, but for the American audience who absolutely love him, to sit there and go, hang on a minute, we've got a genuine kid. Canelo's a thrill seeker, he loves to chase, he loves the challenge, and to step up and fight the #1 super middleweight in the world, because he never really won any super middleweight belt when he stepped up in Madison Square Garden last time. But if he wants to fight the #1, it is Callum Smith, and that's a huge fight, the 2 #1s in the world fighting each other.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is as well, I mean, it's funny you say that, because Ndam is a very aggressive, come-forward fighter, and very similar in a way, not similar to Canelo, but stylistically the same ruggedness and willingness to engage, so that, like you say, you can counter him, you can move, you can do your thing, keep him on the end of a long jab, all the tools that you would have to show to beat Canelo.
Yeah. Listen, yeah, Hassan Nadam's a very good opponent. He's only lost 3 times, all to world champions, and he's a really good fighter. We haven't took him lightly. We use him as a sparring partner for George Groves, and this is a huge opportunity for him. He can put himself in the shop window against the Canelo Triple G. So we've just got to go in there and treat this as he does all these big fights, and go in there and make a statement.
Now, do you fancy triple? Sorry, David.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was going to say, well, you're in New York, which means you can't be in Madrid.
Oh yeah.
Liverpool Champions League final. I was there in Kiev last year when it all went pairs. Are you going to be able to see it, and are you going to be able to do it?
Yeah, I believe you'll win, and I will be watching it somewhere. We'll get it on the telly, and me and my brothers will sit and watch it. And fight day, I like to chill out and switch off from boxing anyway, so there's no better way than sit and watch the Reds.
Absolutely. Are you a Red?
Manchester United,
Hey, come on!
Boring, right?
Like me.
Anyway.
I'm going to have a shocking time in the changing room Saturday night before the fight with Smith brothers and everyone. But
Yes.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Thank you,
Yes,
Director.
Thank you so much.
Dave,
See
just
you guys
moving
soon.
on.
Hey, good luck. Good luck.
Final thing, because you guys are in the industry. Andy Ruiz is a live opponent against Joshua earlier in the fight, isn't he, gentlemen?
Yeah, I think he's a good fighter. I think his hand speed's good. He puts his shots together well. Just seeing him in person, I don't know if he's too small.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I came away. I spent the day with him in LA. He looked light on his feet for a big guy, very fast hands, really determined, typical Mexican. But I came away thinking he's shorter than Callum Smith. And he is. And that's what I thought. He might be a little bit too small. Joe?
Yeah, no, listen, Ruiz, maybe because of him being so low, you see Mike Tyson years ago not putting him in the same bracket as that, but he used that leverage to get under and bob and weave and come in. But if Joshua's looking for the big fights, then I expect him to do Ruiz with inside 5 rounds, and he needs to.
And the odds, of course, are the shortest odds are a 5-round finish.
Yeah,
thank you. There you go, you're on the money.
All right, okay.
We'll let you get away. Cheers, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll see
Cheers,
you tomorrow.
Callum. Cheers, Joe. Thank you very much.
See you over the next couple of days. Yeah, you too. Yeah.
Here's the and here's the man that made it all. Here's the man that made him. Here's the man that made him.
Oh, mate, I love throwing in a bit of football banter in there.
Big-
I love that. Do you understand? Look, the dynamics of that relationship. You got Joe Gallagher, Manchester United fan, training. You got training. Callum Smith, a die-hard, passionate Liverpool fan. He's gone to sleep. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand
I
the
don't want
dynamics
to
of this.
understand.
You need to.
This is fight sports. We're in New York for a big fight. Forget the football. Yeah. Callum Smith can watch Champions League final. Man United aren't in it. Yeah. Let's get on with it. So Andy Ruiz was in the ring a minute ago.
He was.
Yeah.
He certainly was. And listen, what did you see from him? Obviously, you were in the middle of talking. You spoke a lot during that time, so you didn't really see that much of him. What did you see when you looked at him in the ring?
He's fast. He's got fast hand speed. He's loving the weak. He's going to take his moments, but I do feel in the long run, over 3 or 4 rounds, he's got 3 rounds to get the job done. Man United aren't in the Champions League final. He knows that as well. And if he goes beyond 5 rounds, he's got a really good chance in this fight.
Absolutely. Oh, you think? All right. You think
The longer it goes,
the better it is for him.
For me, he's got to knock Joshua out early. That's what he's got to do. But if he's giving Joshua problems with his movements,
He's going to grow in confidence.
he will grow in confidence because he'll try different things in there. But I do think my ultimate feeling is seeing him in there just now. I did see him in there a little bit. He was over here in this corner. My overriding feeling, and I can't get rid of it, is that he is not a very big man and not a big heavyweight.
Yeah, but Joshua talks
You
a
know?
lot about it. He says
Yeah.
the thing about the smaller heavyweights
Yeah.
is that they're used to fighting taller people. So he's a lot more versed at fighting
He's
taller
brilliant
people
at-
than Joshua is at fighting smaller people.
He's brilliant at punching upwards. We know that. He loves punching upwards. He brings unique problems for Anthony Joshua. Remember, this is one of the smallest opponents that Anthony Joshua's fought, but he's also one of the most adept in terms of boxing skills and experience. So, in many ways, Anthony Joshua is going to have to work this guy out for a few rounds. So, it's going to be fascinating. I mean, I hope we get to speak to Andy in a minute. I'm not sure where he is right now,
No,
but
he's right over there talking to Sky.
yeah, well, we'll get him shortly.
Absolutely.
You know,
you're going to whip out some of your Spanish, your Mexican Spanish.
Podemos hablar en español si quieres, tío. Él vivía o viví en la ciudad de Imperial, en la frontera de México, cerca de Mexicali.
Listen, I see what you do there.
Y casi fue un gangbanger, que es un gang member en español. A gang member. Se llama en America gangbanger.
All right, okay. Listen, it's a very, 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 very big card on the night. Listen, for those of them that are just joining us now, tell them where we are and what we're doing.
We are gang members. We are the gangs of New York.
That's right.
We are the gangbangers
The William
of New
Hill
York.
gangbangers of New York.
We are enjoying ourselves. We are the William Hill Gang of New York right now. We are here in the Brookfield Shopping Centre on the southwest side of Manhattan, lower side. We have seen Andy Ruiz in the ring already. He is making his way through the crowd, pushing his way towards us, signing autographs as we speak. He has said the biggest appointment before Saturday is standing between Cheeky Sport Dave and the G-Men for an interview with us for William Hill, because he wants to be with us in the Gang of New York.
Listen, that's the whole reason why he signed up to this fight. He knew that we'd be here. He knew William Hill will be title sponsor of this fight. He knew that they'll have the best in round by round betting, and he thought, you know what, I'll join this bad boy.
You need to be over 18 to watch us gangbangers in New York.
Yeah,
just remember that.
So if you're watching and you're under 18, you know what I mean, it's time to luck off. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly 2 weeks ago, I went down to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful day. I went to Legends Gym in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I spent the afternoon with Andy Ruiz and Manny Robles, his coach.
Do that again?
El entrenador Manny Robles. And
rolling the Mars.
El perro de San Roque no tiene rabo porque Ramón Ramírez se lo ha cortado.
Fantastic. What he said.
That means the rabbits of San Roque doesn't have a tail because Ramon Ramirez cut it off.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
That's not much of a gang warfare stunt, is it?
Not at all.
But anyway, the thing is, when I went down there 2 weeks ago, what I liked about them is they were putting in the hard work. It was a sweltering hot day. It was sun-drenched in Los Angeles, and they were really working hard. And he is being paid, I believe, $3 million for this fight. So it's a big payday for him, but history is what he cares about in this fight. Destiny. He said he couldn't believe it when he beat Dimitrenko. Remember, this guy fought 8 weeks ago. He got the fight out of the way. He saw on social media that Anthony Joshua needed a new opponent because Jarrell Miller had tested positive for 3 banned substances in 3 separate random out-of-competition drug tests. And he contacted Eddie Hearn on social media and said, give me the fight, I'll give everything. And within 8 days, he had the fight.
Incredible.
So you can see,
incredible.
He said things happen for a reason. He'll say that, he uses that expression. Things happen for a reason. He'll have we'll have the Snickers moment with him when he gets here, you know. The Snickers, he's a big lad, but he's a happy, big, cherubically faced, soft-spoken Mexican-American who doesn't think Donald Trump should build a wall between the USA and America. And I've spoken to him about that as well. And he said, if I win the world title, I don't want to go to the White House. I want to go to the Mexican White House, because that's where I'm from. He's got Hecho in Mexico, made in Mexico, tattooed on his arm. He fights like a Mexican, and let's hope he does that on Saturday night.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Where is he?
Where is he? Listen, he's fighting his way through the crowd. As he said, there's so many people.
So many fans,
between us and him.
I can hear him shouting, "Where's Cheeky?"
Yeah, mate, I'm here. He's coming. He's coming. Listen, talk to me about Anthony Joshua's mindset stepping into this fight, because you've had a couple of words with him, haven't you?
I have. I had words with him about the quality of his conference call with us last Friday. I had a proper go at him last night.
Whoa.
Well, it was just he was in a bad mood, which I liked last Friday.
I
love it when he's in a bad mood coming into fight week. It just shows you, that's what I like about him. He was in a bad mood last week when he was in Miami. We did a conference call with him. Such a good sign when a fighter is in a bad mood coming into fight week, because he's been jiggled around, being asked to be here, there and everywhere. Last night, when we went for our red carpet evening with him, very relaxed.
On top of the Mondrian Hotel?
On top of the Mondrian Hotel on the Loft Gardens, bespoke event. All the fighters coming through, having their moment with the media, red carpet parade. You know, it was like the Oscars.
It was.
It was like the Oscars.
Although I was late.
Yeah, but you were just coming in. You want to come in a day earlier, brother.
Yeah, I know.
You want to come in and stake your territory out like I did on Sunday. You know, like the gangs of New York
Major
did
mark
200 years ago. No, the thing is,
tell him.
When Anthony got to New York,
yes,
he relaxed straight away. He looked up at those great billboards outside Madison Square Garden, and he delighted in it. It lit him up. It electrified him that there were giant posters of him up at Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Wearing Hugo Boss suits. They are enormous, yeah? As big as you will ever see on the O2 Arena on Wembley. You know, huge, big posters, or neon signs rather. He walked around New York with his team. It was a beautiful day. No one was grabbing him, asking him for autographs. He could take in the atmosphere of the place. He knows about the history of Madison Square Garden. He knows that Lennox Lewis, Nazim Hamid, Joe Calzaghe, all these guys. Manny Robles! Robles!
Caught me off guard.
Andy Ruiz.
Yes, the big man himself.
Junior Andy Ruiz Senior. Here they are, gentlemen. We've just been talking about you.
I see you got Snickers in hand already.
I got my Snickers right here.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we've got some more for you right here.
Right. Snickers. Here we go. Yeah.
Andy, how was that?
It felt good, you know, being here with all the cameras, all in action. I'm blessed to be here.
Absolutely. Now, for all of the people back home that haven't got to see you in action, what can they expect from you? What kind of fighting style can they expect from you on Saturday night?
An all-action fight, you know. I'm here to win it all. I'm here to take Joshua's belts. I'm here to become the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. This is what we've been working for since I was a little kid, and now we're here. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get that, man.
What I loved, I was just talking you up before you came, and when I came to see you in Los Angeles, we talked about it exactly 2 weeks ago, and you said, man, I can't believe it. I beat Dimitrenko just like 2 months ago, and this call came, I pushed out there, I got the fight. Yes, I'm earning a decent payday, but it's not about the money. You feel things happen for a reason. It really feels like destiny for you, doesn't it?
It sure does, you know. I just got done fighting 4 weeks ago, and having this opportunity to fight here for the World Championship, it's a blessing.
And everyone we've spoken to,
what?
Everyone we've spoken to so far says that maybe your opportunity comes early in this fight to begin with, you know? That because of your hand speed and the fact he's a slow starter, that you could utilize that. Are we talking the right game here potentially?
Yeah, of course. You know what? I don't want to say too much of my game plan, but we're here to win, man, and stay busy and letting my hands go, and we're gonna make history.
Can you hear that the noise is just lit up a lot more? Your opponent's literally just stepped into the ring.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know what? It's nothing but a G thing. You know what I mean? And coming in June 1st, all the respect is gonna be not there. You know, inside the ring, it's a whole different ball game, and we're just ready.
Did you really call him robotic all those weeks ago, or was that a PR stunt?
I think that was probably a stunt. You know, I have respect for the man. He's a champion, you know what? But inside the ring, there's no respect, there's no friends, there's no nothing. But outside of the ring, I'm a big fan.
I was saying how we are the William Hill gang of New York. It's brilliant you joined us. You are a typical Mexican man with that fire inside you, and we really hope it's going to be an explosive, exciting fight on Saturday night.
Thank you, it sure is, man. Tune in on Dan's Madison Square Garden, June 1st. There's going to be history in the makings.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Andy.
Thank
See
you,
you.
Andy. Cheers, man. Thank you.
Come on, take us in a bit, yeah? Listen.
Thank you, Manny. Come in a minute. Manny, Robert, I know we're going to speak. Manny, just one comment. Are we right in thinking that Andy can exploit the fact that Joshua is a slow starter?
Well, that's what we're here for. We're here to shock the world, man. We're here to win. It's no surprise that Anthony Joshua is a slow starter, but he's a much better fighter now than he was back then when we faced him against Dominic Brazil. So, you know, we understand, you know, what we're up against. I understand we're fighting the best heavyweight in the world, but I also believe that I have the.
Do you think he's the number one in the world?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've said this way before.
You think he beats Tyson Fury and Wilder?
He's got to get through Andy Ruiz first, and that's what we're here for, to shock the world.
Brilliant,
So,
Manny. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Cheers, Manny. Thank you. Well, you know who this is. It's Neil Diamond.
All right, so right about now we got Andy Joshua just greeting the fans. Listen, Andy just a man of the people, just out here greeting the fans before he kicks off his very own public open workout here in New York. The first time he's having an open workout here in New York. Listen, the people are poised. You got people outside of restaurants. You know, a lot of city slickers of New York have come to see him.
Well, I think, you know, there's a lot of people sitting here watching today who maybe don't even know who he is, and this is the beginning of a journey where the American public gets to see who this guy who's become a massive star in the UK, who still is only halfway through his journey as a heavyweight boxer and a heavyweight champion. There's still a long way to go, and that's the point. he has to conquer America now. And these are all really, really important moments where he's given us a little nod down to the gang of William Hill of New York. Joshua getting his gloves on. A lot of curiosity around the balconies here. As I say, it's this enormous vaulted orangery down here on the southwest lower side.
It's kind of like it looks kind of a bit like Kew Gardens. It's like a Kew Gardens.
Palm trees in the background.
In the middle of New York City, isn't it?
You know, Rob McCracken never cracking a smile. He's not about happiness.
Nah.
He's about serious
He's about
intent.
getting the job
Anthony Joshua's
done.
got an earpiece in,
Yes.
chewing the gum, looking intent, serious. The hair's been shaven. He's going to go through the paces.
Listen, he is so focused right about now.
And really, listen, tiny waist, hasn't missed a leg day clearly.
He
Giant
doesn't
arms.
skip leg day.
He looks in fantastic
He's all about
shape.
leg day, all day, every day. We've had a conversation about that before.
Yeah.
He told me he skips chest day though.
Anthony Joshua has brought, is shouting out respect to Andy Ruiz, who's standing here ringside with his own family. It will be respect till that first bell rings, and then with the two men will go to war. Joshua's brought his own gang to New York, of course. They're all around us, up there on the ring. Big Ben on the ring, never a few feet away, never far further than a few feet away from him. The most attended boxer in the heavyweight division right now. Joshua clearly enjoying all of this, David.
He is, and he's soaking it in. You know, at times like this, you've got
I
to
feel like
stop.
I'm commentating on the
for a
royal
minute.
wedding.
Yeah, you are, mate. You are. Listen, times like this, you've got to stop. You've got to breathe it in, haven't you? You've got to breathe in the moments like this and fully take in what's actually happening.
Exactly.
It's the start, the christening of Anthony Joshua in the United States of America.
Yeah, you're right, because it's not the coronation.
No.
It's the christening. It's the beginning of a journey. It's the inception, the debut at a highly valued and hallowed venue in America that goes back all the way with Britons, by the way. I was saying earlier about Fainting Phil, one of the heavyweights who used to fall to the ground. He was a policeman in Royal Marine who came here. He was known as the horizontal heavyweight. It's 100 years ago that he fought here in the 20s. Before that, another heavyweight came over to fight John L. Sullivan from Leicester, who's a lightweight, and he earned $1,000 for going 4 rounds with John L. Sullivan. Through time, Lennox Lewis fought 3 times at the Madison Square Garden. Joe Calzaghe fought there. Nazim Hamed in a Rock'em Sock'em Robots fight with Kevin Kelly that ended in 4 rounds. Amir Khan a decade ago against Paulie Malignaggi is over to our right here as well. It's a mecca for British. Ken Buchanan had 5 fights here in the 70s. Won a world title, or defended his world title against Panamanian Ismael Laguna in 1971, and then in 1972 lost to Roberto Duran in Madison Square Garden in 1972 in a controversial fight. It's an amazing historical venue for British boxers.
And obviously you guys can't see Mr. Gareth A. Davis as he's ringing these names off, he's ringing these lists off. You think he was reading from something. He isn't. This is coming straight from the top of the dome. I can't even fact check it. I don't even know.
It's true. It's all true.
But I believe in
it's
this
no
man
fake
right
news here.
Nah, no
and
fake
there'll be
news.
no fake news when Andy Ruiz steps into the ring with Anthony Joshua on Saturday night.
Absolutely.
The odds are for Anthony Joshua to win. But we've been with Andy Ruiz just now, and look what he told us. He's not the biggest heavyweight in the world, but he's massive in terms of self-belief, in what kind of history he can create against this monstrous figure, this man mountain from Watford, England, who's come to conquer America.
What can we see right now in the ring going on?
There are very large right hands coming in. He's squatting and throwing. You can see he's changing levels, Anthony Joshua, to make himself a smaller, tighter target. He's crouching on his haunches, big left and right hands. He's looking for a knockout in this fight, David.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And
he has to make a statement. Exactly 9 days ago, the WBC champion Deontay Wilder made a statement in 137 seconds against Dominic Breazeale, who of course Anthony Joshua put away in 7 rounds 2.5 years ago at the O2 Arena in London. He needs to make a statement of similar proportions, because that knockout, that banjoing right hand, that cannonball right from Deontay Wilder put Dominic Breazeale on the floor like clothes falling into a suitcase across the Hudson River.
Like the way
here
you packed,
at
the way you
Barclays
packed to
Centre.
get here, isn't
It's
it?
the way I pack. I hold a shirt, I punch it, and it drops into my suitcase. And that is what Deontay Wilder did to Dominic Breazeale. Look at that long right hand and that big jab. Look at that power right in front of us. You can hear the crack revolving around this vaulted orangery here in Manhattan.
Look, just in case, as you guys can't see what's going on around me, up and down the escalators, you've got phones out, camera phones out. People are just.
There are women swooning. There are women giving birth. There are people shouting the dawn. The dawn has come.
New era.
The age of a new era, but it does feel like that.
It does. It absolutely.
Let's put a lid on that kind
of
exaggeration. But there is something. There is an ambience. There is an atmosphere. You feel.
There's an expectancy.
Look at the focus in Joshua. He really wants to produce something. The last thing we want to see is Joshua as a horizontal heavyweight on Saturday night. Even Eddie Hearn himself told us he cannot afford to lose this fight. Hearn's direct quote, "I am shitting myself."
Literally.
That's what he said.
Literally.
Yeah.
Word for word. Anthony Joshua, heavyweight champion of the world, Madison Square Garden, Saturday night. It is all happening. And Mr. Gareth A. Davis, Cheeky Sport Dave, all week here in New York covering this fight. It's incredible, isn't it?
It's not like work, David.
It's not.
It's like a calling for us.
Listen.
Yeah? If you can't enjoy these weeks, this is history in the making. The ring card girls can't leave us alone, or
They
you.
can't.
They can't
listen,
leave
I'm telling
you alone.
I'm telling you, there's
yeah?
something about my
I'm
cologne
happy
today.
doing my Tinder window. but here's the thing.
Would you like to change my rating?
Of me?
No.
Of who?
Joshua.
Okay, give us a change on your rating.
He gets a 20 out of 10.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay.
Shot him right up.
Okay. Didn't take much to turn you
Nah,
around,
not
did
at all.
it?
Just a couple right hands. You know what I mean? A couple.
Jabs and uppercuts.
Yeah. So we have just seen a very impressive display. We know what he is physically. Joshua says you can't worry about aesthetics, but when you look at him, aesthetics have been taken to the nth degree.
Absolutely.
He is an incredible physical specimen. He looks amazing. Let's get right in here. How are you, man? Looks fantastic. Thank you for an amazing workout, Anthony Joshua. He looks in amazing shape. He really is taking it seriously. The breathing's hard. He's chewing hard. He has really entranced this audience in here today, and we are looking forward to the whole week ahead of us, David.
Absolutely.
It's always an occasion when he fights. His inception into America is a major moment for the heavyweight division and for British boxing.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, I think he might be having a few words with Mr. David Diamante, but listen.
Well, let's see if I can have a few words with him. Oh, he's taking photos. He's doing the things to do. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. I don't think we're going to get him right now. We're going to talk to him tomorrow, but we are going to just take a last look as he poses for the cameras.
Absolutely.
Looking in fantastic shape and just showing us the kind of delivery of power and explosiveness that he wants to put on Andy Ruiz on Saturday night.
He's an absolute star. There's something about people when you see it. You see that star quality in him.
You're feeling good, yeah?
Yeah. Do you know what though? I've got the first day off tomorrow from any media stuff, but I've got to train, so I'm looking forward to just getting in the ring and having a good training session.
Are we going to have another Instagram live session from you, yeah?
Do you like them Instagram lives?
Quality, mate.
It's different, right?
It was quality.
Right, we're going to get back on it tomorrow.
Oh, she a fed?
She a detective?
Anthony, can you feel the electricity here, though?
Absolutely. Much love, Eddie. God
bless, guys.
God bless you too. See you in a bit. Listen. What a man. I tell you, listen, you can feel the star quality oozing off him. Absolutely oozing off him in this place. He's made for this. You can see that there is destiny in this man, in this arena, in this place, and in Madison Square Garden on Saturday night.
Here's what I'm feeling from today, and we felt it last night. He's enjoying the moment. He's very present. He knows what he has to do. He's put all the hard work in. He doesn't cheat. He's sacrificed so much. He knows there's so much at stake every single time he fights, but he has to enjoy it, and he's clearly enjoying it. I cannot wait for the rest of the week.
Listen,
we'll see him tomorrow,
we
won't
will. We will, absolutely. No, we've got him on Thursday, but just to let you guys know real quick before we end this, it's an absolutely huge card, and we've got loads and loads and loads of good stuff going on throughout this entire fight week. So keep it locked to everything William Hill. Keep it locked to IFL TV. Seconds Out. We'll be all over all of those over the next few days.
Daily Telegraph,
David Alorco across all the social media.
Yeah.
But let me hit you guys with the card. The card is absolutely special. We've got Chris Algieri versus Tommy Coyle.
Great fight.
Josh Buatsi versus Marco Peribian. We've got Josh Kelly versus Ray Robertson.
Real talent.
Hold the sugar. We've got Katie Taylor versus Delphine Pearson for
Women's
the undisputed World Lightweight Championship. And we've got Callum Smith versus Hassan Ndam. And topping the bill is Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz for the IBF, WBA, WBO, and IBO World Heavyweight Championship.
Mega event.
Listen, it's going to be an incredible week. You won't find a better place for round by round betting than William Hill. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic week. Keep it plugged into all the socials. I'm Cheeky Sport Dave.
I'm Gareth A. Davis. All week we'll see you. Don't miss us. Welcome to New York. It's fight week. Anthony Joshua against Andy Ruiz. Look behind me, hashtag Joshua Ruiz. And Joshua's 4 belts, IBO, WBA, IBF, and WBO. It's a massive fight week. Not just Anthony Joshua against Andy Ruiz. Joshua Buatsi's fighting. Callum Smith defending his world title. And Katie Taylor is attempting to unify all the women's lightweight belts. Massive card. Massive night, because Anthony Joshua makes his debut here stateside in the Big Apple.